Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to the July 2023 edition of Lowing, presented here on IPL Splatoon. I'm Killen alongside my partner, Vapor, and once again, another big Lowing show up here, as at least 200 teams have signed up for this one. First featured matchup between Ink and Destroy and Hellish Akuma to get things started. Vapor, I'm excited for this Lowing. How about you?
Hey, I'm excited. First time on mic for Lowing in a long time for myself. I'm glad to be back here with you here on Ink and Destroy versus Hellish Akuma. We'll start off round 1, Tower Control Inkblot Art Academy. I'm pretty sure there was officially 215 teams that signed up. I don't know how many checked in, but we'll be heading right into Tower Control on Inkblot Art Academy here. So it's going to be pretty exciting to start off.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And to get things started here, Ink and Destroy on the alpha side, on the other side, Hellish Akuma to get things going. And we got some interesting weapons to show off here. And Vapor, I am not surprised to see the ballpoint back in action, one of the more popular weapons here in this meta. But on the side of Ink and Destroy, double splashes to start.
Double splash X-Flow, and it looks like Ink and Destroy are going to try to use those splashes and play around the chip damage with the X-Blocker as well. So it's going to be a really scary chip damage-wise, but they go down too early on to Hellish Akuma. First few seconds, neutral up here, X-Flow just chilling back here on the plat, keeping some paint pressure and letting their teammates get right back in, looking to make an early push.
Oh yes, and right now at this point, both teams are kind of just stalling things out, basically getting a good feel for how this match is being played. Nobody really taking full control of mid. You do see that X-Flow find the Stamper, and right away, Ink and Destroy touching the tower, at least getting it down to 5 points remaining, but not much else, as the Inkjet is coming out here shortly, and it does take out the X-Flow, but the Inkjet, of course, Sasu going down, and this tower is still being pushed by Ink and Destroy despite the trade. They're still on that tower.
The ballpoint did get that fast respawn because of that cooler, but this first checkpoint still getting chipped down, trying to save it, but not in time. Ink and Destroy does get that first checkpoint, giving them a solid lead, and Hellish Akuma going multiple down. That's 3 down. It's only this Rain Blaster. They find 1. They're looking for a second, which they do get, but not before one of the other members of Ink and Destroy find the pick onto them. Second checkpoint drops. Stamper from Hellish Akuma finds the pick onto Spy Eye, moving up 3 down on the side of Ink and Destroy here, and Keon, Hellish Akuma trying to slow down this push.
Yeah, they're doing a great job starting out that push. The 3 down on Ink and Destroy makes it so that the tower goes back, and that's a really good push, honestly, from Ink and Destroy, being able to get past that second checkpoint. That second checkpoint can be very tricky to get through, but Ink and Destroy able to make that happen. Crab Tank able to find 1 as well, and it looks like that splash has gone down. The Inkjet from Sasu strikes again, and the tower back to mid. And now, for Hellish Akuma, plenty of time. Really, they just need to get some decent control of mid, and then some. They touch the tower to get a few more points, but right now that tower is going to be stuck in mid.
Kraken moving up, finds 1 and a few more with teammate help, but it's going to be the Blaster having some assistance, trying to stop this tower alone. Hellish Akuma holding on a little bit longer, slows down the push from Ink and Destroy. But here comes that Crab Tank, finds 1 onto that end zap. Here comes that Zip Caster, trying to make a play from behind to slow down this push of their own. Splash did end up going down here, but whereas back in neutral here, you need to play safe, and Hellish Akuma needs to try to find something to make the push, and they find a 2 members advantage.
Yeah, Hellish Akuma able to take out a few. They did lose the ball point, but that's not going to be too much of an issue. But right now, with that tower staying in mid, the only thing I want to look out for coming into the last 2 minutes of this matchup, Ink and Destroy, that double splash, a lot of painting, along with that 96 Gal and the Expo. They got range and even more paint that on the side of Hellish Akuma. Really, you also have some as well, but the range blaster from the Stamper is going to offer some different advantages here. So as long as that Stamper and the range blaster can find some necessary picks, that's what Akuma is going to need in order to hopefully get this first map under their control. As Hellish Akuma past that, entered the first checkpoint, should be able to clear it here shortly, Vapor, and that Stamper is able to throw them out right now, and it looks like they're past that first one, coming into the second.
2 men members do end up going down on each side. Crab Tank slowing this push to a complete stop.
That's just going to be the end of that one. And Ink and Destroy winning map 1 to get things going for Low Ink.
Yep, first map, and it does go into Ink and Destroy's favor. They had a really strong push about middle through a little bit early on. Really nice fist bump between Spy Eye and Mango there to start us off.
Yeah, and honestly, a lot of that push, they got that push going all down to 26 points remaining here, and there were some moments where at that point maybe Hellish Akuma were able to fight back. They were able to find some associated picks onto a few splashes, but every time we see Hellish Akuma trying to make that push happen, the ballpoint just drops, unfortunately, and then a lot of that push power is just completely gone. So Ink and Destroy, with that lead, they were able to just defend successfully and win that first map.
And coming up next, Rainmaker, Undertow, Spillway. A very fast-paced map coming up next. And it can struggle, it could be a little bit of a struggle for the team with the X-Blosher, because X-Blosher is such a slow weapon. But it can also be huge for defense if they're able to get set up on that top right area.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make any adjustments. That Expo was a nice pick onto Inkblot Art Academy, because I think the map on that first one, Inkblot Art Academy, lends itself really well to that Expo. But for this one, you mentioned before, very slow weapon to pick up, especially in Rainmaker. So I wouldn't be shocked if Ink and Destroy, team that had the Expo, makes some necessary changes to account for this. Now on the other side for Hellish Akuma, I'm going to be curious to see if they want to keep the same comp or try to switch things off. I think they had a decent idea of that, but got overran by the double splash comp that Ink and Destroy had. So I think Hellish Akuma, they could be using this time to see how they can reset for Undertow Rainmaker.
And another thing to think about as well is, on the side of Hellish Akuma, you had that blaster. So you were in a deficit with paint almost the whole entire game, but you were able to adjust with that by working together to find those picks. So are we going to see a switch off from that range blaster to something with a little bit more paint to help hold that mid control?
Absolutely. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the change. And of course, we would like to see the Explo changed up, but they're going to keep the Explo here. And I think the only change is going to be on the side of Hellish Akuma, I believe, on that side. And I think we see the Trident on the NZAP 89 and the Wiper Deco. Just a total composition change, honestly.
Yeah, Wiper Deco is going to be very important to hold on to here for Ink and Destroy. No, that's Hellish Akuma. It's going to be really important to try to keep those beacons in, try to use those missiles to help push up. Explode Splash on the side of Ink and Destroy, trying to play around this left side here. Crab Tank getting popped out. Blaster stuck in that corner, trying to hold mid control, but no one is able to take advantage here early on in this first minute.
Yeah, the fight on the Rainmaker is going to be incredibly huge, especially with control onto mid. and many other guys up front as we do see Splash and the 96 Gao Deco going down on Ink Destroy's side. I would like to see a little bit more aggression coming out with that set. We do see Scally moving up with that Wiper Deco, but going down on that side, and again, still no full control of any of mid whatsoever. That Rainmaker's just being stuck there. Nobody wants to pick it up yet. They want to see if they can turn that advantage. Possibly we could be seeing these teams pick it up once they see 2 or 3 down on the other side.
You need to find a way to build up that control, and this is one way to create an opening. Hellish, Akuma, Tri-Slosher, Sazu pulling out, finding 2, but ends up going down. Trying to push this Rainmaker is going to be the end zap, but they end up getting picked off. But first points on the board goes to Hellish Akuma as Ink and Destroy are looking to take it back mid-control here with this Crab Tank.
Yeah, big thing too is that Crab Tank, they needed to set up, but that Crab Tank has gone down to a lone Fizzy Bomb. A very unfortunate scenario there. The Kraken at least trades. Sasu does go down by the end of this one. Squid West trying to fight against the Wiper Deco, trying to pull off from range, but Ink and Destroy going to the left-hand side. Not enough to swing the lead. They lose 2, but the double splashes are still up. The range blaster dumps as well. Scally trying to make something happen, but going down as well. But the rest of Hellish Akuma, they do reset, but the rest of being destroyed. Squid jumping near the Rainmaker. We do see that Crab Tank trying to put paint down to make sure that they can get this Rainmaker going. The Tri-Nubo drops as well, but that Rainmaker resets by the end of it, and that Rainmaker is back to mid, and we're going to be seeing a lot of members going down.
They tied the score too, which makes it even more unfortunate. Ink and Destroy gets fully wiped, and this is going to be advantage Hellish Akuma here with about 2 minutes 15 remaining on the clock. Moving around is this Tri-Slosher trying to make a play, finds the pick on the Squid West before they go down. Range Blaster finds a 1, trying to find another, but they go down as well. Splash, Mango popping out that Crab Tank here, and Kion, they find 1. This is the chance for Ink and Destroy.
Ink and Destroy, they got some great painting on that left-hand side, but the Rainmaker drops right out of the gate. I believe the 10 missile strike big time, and Sasu is just trying to paint over any ink that Ink and Destroy had. We do see the Crab Tank once again pop. The power of the double crab being put into play there. Squid West using it as much as they can. We do see that Rainmaker being picked up there. They do have a lot of ink, and I don't think there's any members from Hellish Akuma to respond. The first checkpoint is broken by Ink and Destroy.
Huge checkpoint there. 96, if they win this fight, that'll be huge for them. And they just decide to pop Kraken, finds the pick onto the Wiper. Rainmaker pop. Advantage Ink and Destroy here as the Kraken tries to move up, but they don't have any more paint to run through. From the side though, Squid West finds a 1 assist on the other. Wiper dropped down, and they find the pick onto the Rainmaker that went across the grates. That is a game-saving play from the Wiper on Hellish Akuma, and with 2 members going down on Ink and Destroy, make that 3. This is going to stop this push right here.
But Hellish Akuma, there's not that much time left. 45 seconds left to go on that clock. The Rainmaker does reset, but they have to break through that first checkpoint. I would like to see if this team can still play as aggressive. You saw Sasu be in good position to take out multiple members from Ink and Destroy and the Wiper Deco to hopefully farm out those missiles. You do see the space being built out there. The Wiper Deco, Squid West going down. Scally strikes big, and there's a second member down as well. Can Scally find another? No, Scally does go down by the end of it, but that Rainmaker is still in mid-vapor. We're coming down to the last 15 seconds left, and all that Ink and Destroy needs to do, just make sure they don't allow this push to happen.
They need to find a way to kill the person that just picked up the Rainmaker. It's the 96 glass score, trying to move up and not die, but they die with a few seconds left on the clock. We will now head into overtime. Ink and Destroy trying to fight for this Rainmaker, and they find 3 members, pop the Rainmaker. They just need to pick it up, and it's over, and that's exactly what they do. Ink and Destroy taking game number 2 here in this round 1 play all 3.
I mean, at that point, Ink and Destroy, what really capped this one off. You had, the double splash composition. You can never go wrong with that comp whatsoever. They set up those crab tanks to get the first checkpoint and then some more. And we do see another fist bump on screen here for Ink and Destroy, getting 2 on. 2 across the board already. And really, I think again, the double splashes just struck big this time. Hellish Akuma, big changes across the board. They had a decent idea with that Wiper Deco, the Tri Nouveau, and the NZAP 89, but just no responses whatsoever. Squid West was just finding members on those on some great Crab Tank usages there, and it pretty much just shut the door on Hellish Akuma.
And we're heading into the final map as well for this first round. Clamblitz Brine Water Springs, and this comes down to where will that Explo take positioning, because if this Explo stays, which I'm going to assume they do in this scenario because we've seen it twice now already, if this X-Washer stays here for Clamblitz Brine Water, then all of mid is going to be rough to take control over if you're on Hellish Akuma.
But here's what Hellish Akuma also had in the first round. They also had a ballpoint, and again, ballpoint's still one of the strongest weapons to have in this game. And I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that ballpoint on Hellish Akuma's end. It is a great weapon to pick up coming into Brinewater Springs Clamblitz. And I wouldn't, again, if with Ink Destroy, they've been perfectly fine keeping the same 2-splash Explo and 96 Scout Deco comp, and it has worked wonders for them. So I wouldn't expect to see any changes. Hellish Akuma, they've ran 2 different comps. I guess you could say it experimenting as well, but they ran 2 comps here. So maybe the third one, maybe we could see some changes. Back to the ballpoint, maybe? Do they want to stick to the same aggressive style that they had in Rainmaker? I think there's a few ways they can go, but really for Akuma, how do you respond to the double splashes? They've been causing a lot of problems here in this first set.
You need to find a way to get that Tri-Slosher set up. If you could just have that Tri-Slosher shark both those splashes, then that ruins about half their paint, if not a little bit more than half. So the Tri-Slosher needs to come out huge, looking for the pick on those short-range shooters, and also pairing up with that blaster. If that blaster can have a pop-off game, it's not over for Hellish Akuma.
Absolutely, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do want to keep a variant of that Tri-Slosher, even the blaster as well, range blaster especially, because if they can get those big picks, especially with this being Clamblitz, multiple members going down, and the way this particular map combination works out, getting some key picks can easily spell good news, as you can get those pushes out fast here in Brinewater Clam. So I would love to see Hellish Akuma see if they can change things up, either weapon wise or just play style wise, because again, the big response has to be how do you deal with those double splashes.
Yeah. So we're trying to. So now it's just like, what do you really pull out? Because the Explo can easily take control of this map. You have that ballpoint, you have that Tri-Slosher, but will that be enough to find a way to get to that Explo? Because if you can't move it, then everything could go downhill really easily. That's how strong Explo is on Brinewater.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but the other thing too is, remember the specials, double Crab Tank and Explo. They got so much range. If Ink Destroy opt to keep this same composition lean into this third map here, so there's a lot of ways you can really tackle around this. Once you get out of the double splash, now your next goal, deal with the Explo, but you also have to respect the 96 Scout deck from Ink Destroy. You also have to deal with the Kraken that can just completely play chaos, play so much havoc on your game that, I mean, at this point, really, Hellish Akuma, how do you really address like the multiple members that can play these weapons so well? So I think there's a few ways to go around it. We saw some great Tri-Slosher play. Ballpoint's still not a bad weapon as well, but if you can keep playing that aggressive style, which almost worked until that first checkpoint, and then some more happened from Ink Destroy, I think there's some lingering effects of maybe this could work, maybe, but you have to wait and see what Hellish Akuma can dish out here in the third one.
Hear me out. This is going to be an idea, but what about Vanilla's Tri-Slosher?
That's honestly not a bad choice too, because you have the Inkjet and Toxic Mist, but more importantly, you had that aggressive play and that Inkjet to boot, and that Inkjet can completely displace the Explo, because the Explo will have a rough time playing against that Inkjet for sure. So there's honestly so many different ways to go around this.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting because we're talking about that Inkjet. Inkjet's really strong, and basically everyone will say that it is the best special in the game currently. So if you run that ballpoint, you run that vanilla try, both have Inkjet, then you can easily shred those crab tanks in 2 to 3 shots and displace the Explode just by popping the Inkjet in general. So just looking for offense, you have all that right there for you, and defense-wise, you have that Toxic Mist for that Tri-Slosher. It covers that whole little choke point where you have to cross to be able to score those slams.
For sure, and I mean, really, just double. I mean, that could be the play, honestly, too. That Hellish Akuma could dish out if we see again. If you have that Tri-Niveau as well, but I'd like to see if. But I'd like to see if they even want to bother going back to that ballpoint. We saw from the first map, that ballpoint just had so many issues just trying to get even set up. You saw the Inkjet being used decently well, found a few picks, but also going down with the Inkjet itself. So I can see there is a reality where Hellish Akuma may want to not go back to the ballpoint if it didn't really work out for them in that first map because of how Ink and Destroy played it. At the same time, though, you're also dealing with the fact that it was on Inkblot, which because of that terrain could be very difficult. Brine Water, similar-ish to deal with, so maybe there is some reservations on going back to ballpoint. Maybe they want to just flex over to the vanilla try. Again, so many different combinations to think of. Now, another thing too is there is another weapon that does have Inkjet. I do want to call it the Anaki Nova as well, but I doubt we're going to be seeing that.
It'll be really interesting if we do end up seeing Anaki Nova, because those mines could be really helpful. Like how I was talking about with the Toxic Mist a bit earlier. If you place mines in those areas as well, if they don't get a direct hit, that player is still going to take 50 to 60% damage.
For sure, like well-placed ink lines can be a difference between just getting a member down to 1 than just be 1 spot away from from being out of the picture. So there is a reality where that could be where that could be an option, but we haven't seen it yet. We don't see a lot of Anaki Novas in general, but that is another possibility that that they could do to possibly counter this double splash and this Expo composition. Again, especially factoring the fact that we're dealing with Brine Water strings coming up.
Yeah. Brine Water coming up next. We'll see what we have coming up shortly. It sounds like we did have a lobby issue momentarily, so we'll get back in here in a few moments. But we've been talking about all this offense, like, oh, Inkjets will help Hellish Akuma move up, but we haven't really talked about what they can really do on defense. Do you have any idea with that, Keon?
There's many questions leading into it, whether if they can respond on defense whenever they can, with the weapons they had. I mean, defense is one thing, but they've been broken open on several occasions, so that could be very tough. So I would like to see if they can play defense a lot better, especially with the first 2 maps where one push completely broke it open for Ink Destroy. But I think contextually wise, they might have been because of how much time was left on the clock. So really a lot of things to factor.
Yeah. So it's going to be pretty interesting heading into this. A little bit of lobby issues. Hopefully it didn't cool down the players too badly, but I'm excited to see what we have coming up here. The ballpoint Fizzy Bomb, if we do end up seeing that, is going to be pretty scary, especially around that choke point as well.
For sure, and we're finally queued up this third map here, and yes, Squid West and Mango back on double splash duties, and it looks like there's gonna be no Inkjet in play, so this could be a very interesting choice. They're still relying on Scally on that Stamper duty here, which you're gonna have the zip caster. So the idea is sound. You go into the back line and then try to find that Explo and possibly a Crab Tank if it gets popped, but that's really your condition here. You also have to rely on the Trizuka from the splatter shot as well. So I'm not sure if this is gonna be the correct play, but hey, I've been proven wrong many times before on paper, so I'd love to see Hellish Akuma execute with this.
Yeah, I think that's the play that they're going to try to go for. Get the Zukas and displace all the Explode crabs and everything like that, but you can't displace them if you end up going down right to them. 3 down to a singular crab tank. Zap gets stuck in the corner. Explode's there. So much offensive pressure, but they need to get some clams into the basket, keep it open, and they sneak some in.
Oh. Yeah, they sneak some in, and there's just so many clams, so much control from Ink and Destroy right here in this Brine Water map. They got 2 power clams in. They do lose 3, but that is such a huge push, all things considered. And I think this push is going to be done here from Ink and Destroy. What a fast and strong push from Ink and Destroy here. And yeah, the crab tank also pressured them out, just made things so much more difficult for Hellish Akuma to go in through as they continue to lose 2 members. This is just total control from Ink and Destroy from what we have right now.
Blaster trying to zone out members of Ink and Destroy from moving up to that right side. They find 1-2 down on Ink and Destroy. Both of the last 2 members are pulling back, keeping themselves alive. Specials are ready to go. And especially that crab tank, once they go right around that corner, they can just get shut down very easily.
Oh, absolutely there. And at this point from what we see here is the crab tank does get popped there. Saucy trying to combat it, but going down, unfortunately, to a burst bomb that was well placed. And I mean, for Hellish Akuma, they're just trying to find plays that they can right now. But there's this Kraken who's just gonna pop up and say no. The answer is no. The Stamper also went down earlier as well, and again, the Hellish Akuma is just trying to find anything to work with here, but Ink and Destroy just found a decent response. But as soon as I say that, though, a wipe out on the hand of Hellish Akuma, but they gotta get a power clam spawn.
Power clam Bill scoring into that basket and getting some points on the board. Trying to build up their specials, but the shot ends up going down. They do have that cooler ready to get popped and activated, but it doesn't seem like that they're going to force any more clams into that basket. Just get those few points on the board, call it quits for now. Here comes that crab tank, and right as it's popped, here comes the Zipcaster 2 going down to Ryan. This a blaster. Zipcaster Stamper on the recall, trying to find something out of it, but it's going to be the splash, taking down that shot, holding the power clam, and popping out that crab tank once more.
Yeah, and now you have Sky trying to combat with the crab tank, losing to the crab tank thanks to the support from Ink and Destroy, and now the second member drops, but both teams do lose too. More importantly, though, Hellish Akuma loses a power clam in that process. It's just the lone emergency clam back at base. That's the only one there for them, but they're going to be content with keeping it there. They're just trying to build up more territory to work with here, but there's really only 1 or 2 entryways to work with here, and it's all on that left-hand side, so they got to get everybody out of there. We do see the Kraken game pop, trying to make sure that there is no entrance for Hellish Akuma, and it is another trade between both teams, and now 2 down, making it 3 down on Ink and Destroy, and Hellish Akuma, they pick up the power clam, and they're going to be able to cash this one in.
Blaster finds 3 people in that corner. Expo's last, and they're just going to try to stall this basket as much as they can. Try to get their teammates back in. If they can get that power clam jump, it'll give them the lead. But it's only the Blaster, last one alive. They're forced to back up and build up even more clams. Stamper is down in that corner with that Blaster. But this is advantage Hellish Akuma right now. They have the momentum. They have the special advantage, and they just need to find one more chance to get another huge push on the board. And there goes that 96. This is their chance, and with a bomb to the back of the crab just missing, that stalls out a full entire crab tank.
Yeah, and they got 22 seconds left, but they got some decent clams here on their side. The clam economy favoring Hellish Akuma, but the more importantly, they are going to at least get OT, but that is still a manageable lead change that can happen. The Expo and the second member going down. Ralph's going to be able to find 2 on the Raise Blaster. It's a third member going down thanks to the assist from that team, and Hellish Akuma, they may be able to salvage this one, but they got to get that other clam in. There's down the 32 point range. There's that power clam, the switch jump coming in, and they do cash it in successfully. My goodness, Hellish Akuma, despite the slow start and the stronger push from Ink and Destroy, they wrestle this one back in overtime.
That's exactly what they needed too. They needed the pop-off game from the Blaster, and that's exactly what they got. The Blaster able to find constantly, finding 2, finding 3, finding 2 more, and it just gives them the momentum. Once that blaster started popping off, they were able to carry everything forward, and they just couldn't get shut down off that gas.
Absolutely, I gotta give huge credits there to Rel on the, or Riot, excuse me, on Hellish Akuma. Perfect blaster shots on 2 key pushes. We saw in the first push, Riot was able to find 2 members to help break a push open to 38 points remaining. They had a lot of time. Riot needed to position themselves again for another pick of 2 members, and this time that's the push that seals it for Hellish Akuma and wrestling back in OT. So I gotta give a lot of credit to them. Riot was able to make that happen with the range blaster, and Hellish Akuma, more importantly, they salvaged that set and at least make it a 2-1.
Yeah, and just like that, let's take a quick look over at the brackets here after. That was a really good set, looking across the board. A lot of 3-0s, but there's some really good 2-1 matches sneaking in there as well.
Absolutely, a lot, and here are the results there. Yeah, a good collection of 3-0s and 2-1s there across the board from every team here in Group A. So just well done across the board for everybody here. And Vapor, I mean, that was very tense in the three maps there. But but hey, we got a quick ad read. I do want to talk to you guys about real quickly here. We got the SoCali LAN coming up, Vapor, and let's get this one here as well. SoCali is a monthly Splatoon 3 LAN located in Fullerton, California, in collaboration with local hosts. The entire venue is closed off to the public for this event. It includes a local artist alley, salmon run side event, and of course our fiery main bracket with players such as Chase247, Gus, and Protara. It's a $10 fee to play and a $5 prize pool fee that is paid out in cash to the top 3 teams. With the more players we can bring in, the more priority the venue will give the Splatoon community. The QR code has all of our socials. Thank you for the SoCali stuff.
Yeah. Congratulations to Fullerton local hosts, because they had a goal of, I'm pretty sure it was 70 plus players. I'm pretty sure that was. And if they hit that goal, they would just close off the entire venue just for Splatoon for the day. And it's just like they hit it, so they're closing off the venue.
All right, for sure, and we're gonna actually go ahead and get ready here, as round 2 it should be coming up here shortly. And I gotta hey, so much praise to the SoCali crew for having a successful LAN the last go around. So hey, if they can get more people going into the SoCali LAN, that's gonna be so good for that group. So
yeah, you know a few people who are going.
Oh yeah, I definitely do here. Vapor, I know I got some pals there that do go to the SoCal LAN, so if you're able to make it, please make it happen. All right, and it looks like we do actually have our second matchup queued up already here, Vapor, as things are about to get things going here. We actually have Aura Warriors versus Inkstrike Krakens coming up.
Yeah, this is going to be really exciting as we do slowly move into round 2, heading into Group B of Swiss at this time around. Looking at the rosters, I don't recognize anyone. I will be honest, I haven't paid attention to much low level lately, so I'm excited to see what these teams have in store for us.
What's always exciting to see with all the teams here in the link is just what kind of weapons they play. You know, the kind of comps they're comfortable with. So I'm gonna be really excited to see what we have from Aura Warriors versus Inkstrike Krakens coming up. I mean, this could be a lot of. We're hoping, personally for us, a very entertaining 3 maps here in this second set all around. So maybe this could be a very close set. Maybe one team comes out swinging and just takes it by storm. Who knows?
Yeah. Who really knows? Looking at the names here, probably my favorite name on this list, just by the name itself, would probably be Mantis.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. But yeah, Mantis from Aura Warriors, if playing definitely a person to check out for sure. So I mean, hey, personally for me, Vapor, I'm so curious to see what these teams want to dish out here in these 3 maps that are coming up. And to me, I think the fun intrigue of Low Ink Vapor is what do they want to do? What is their playstyle stylistically? I mean, there's so many options. Obviously, there could be teams that are centered around the ballpoint or the splash. We've talked about that a lot throughout today, and maybe, who knows? Maybe this is the group to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and let's get some chat interaction in here as well. What is your favorite name in the Splatoon community in general? What's your favorite team name?
I've seen some great pickup names in my time, but they're just pickup names for sure. And this is from me personally, Vapor. I mean, I've seen teams earlier this week, such as Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. There is another pickup team. They performed earlier this week in another IPL tournament at SOS and sort of synced rather. And I mean, I like that team name for sure. There are several other team names I'm completely blanking on earlier this week. I saw that. I was like, okay, you guys are upping that team name energy a bunch, and I absolutely love it each time. But if you want to talk about teams that are established, there are some great names out there as well. I'm just trying to name a few while we're figuring that part out.
Yeah, I really like the name Aura Warriors as well. Like you have that aura built up around you, and it's like warrior energy. like that's what I see when I think of that name.
I mean that's a very fun interpretation of the name. I didn't even think about that. Maybe I should have considered that. I think I should have considered that. Inkstrike Krakens also a good name as well. I mean, you have two specials combined there. We got Inkstrike's just throwing me back to Splatoon 1 for actually that is probably the most Splatoon 1 sounding team name the more I think. There, and I mean, hey, that is a Splatoon 1 team name. There's Inkstrike Krakens, at least from my mind. Maybe I'm misremembering things. While we're thinking about team names and what's our favorite here, Vapor, we got ourselves the 3 maps for this set: Splat Zones, Hagglefish Market. Any thoughts on this one, Vapor?
Well, very linear towards the zone. You have your little flank route options, but this is just going to be a dogfight for the zone. Let's be honest here. Inkstrike Krakens, I expect to see an Inkstrike. I expect to see a Kraken. So those can definitely help to move your team up to just create space using that Kraken. Open up space for your Inkstriker weapons to move up and follow up with those Inkstrikes.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with the triple Inkstrikes being used here. And I do agree with you. I think this is going to be a very brawly match here. Again, heavily dependent on what weapons both teams want to dish out. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see much more longer range weapons, because this is kind of a map that's really conducive to long range weapons there. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see ballpoint. I'm going to keep bringing up ballpoint as much as I can here for sure. And I mean, because ballpoint is just such a solid pick all around, and I would love to see if they can make that happen. But of course, though, maybe they could go full on aggressive as always.
Yeah, it is going to be really interesting to see what happens here. Hagglefish Market Splat Zones is what we'll be starting out on, and a few weapons that could be really helpful. That the Vanilla Wiper and Tetra Dualies in general.
I could definitely see the Vanilla Wiper and the Tetra Dualies be played heavily here, as I do see everybody spawned in at the stage of the game. Maybe that is a very solid choice all around. And I mean, you did call the Tetris Dualies here, Vapor there, and it looks like on one-handed. By the way, Aura Warriors on blue. The other side will be Inkstrike Krakens on orange, and there's the Tetra Dualies as you called out. But I do actually like this composition that we do have from Aura Warriors up ahead.
Yeah, bucket zap. You have that cooler option. Here comes that crab tank. Reef slider out from those Tetra Dualies, and I really like this play here by the Zipcaster. They find one just by zipping right through them. Heavy is stuck here in this corner with that Zap player, but with members going down on each side, neither team is having any advantage to hold steady control.
This is kind of how Anglefish Zones tends to play out. It's going to be a full-on brawl, but once you break through to the zone, this is your chance to be as aggressive and then try to push your opponents out. But make sure you don't get too caught out of position here. Inkstrike Krakens trying to make sure that they do allow that to happen there. I do want to make quick highlights, though. The Stamper and the Splash, very solid picks as well from Inkstrike Krakens there to boot, and the Dark Tetris, by the way, going down on the side of Inkstrike Krakens. Or Warriors able to wrestle this one back, and right now they're trying to reset zone back up and then try to build up their aggression. We do see the cooler being used here, but do we see Warriors? Can they pressure them out? Are they willing to play a little bit more defensively there? They gotta respect the Zipcaster from that Stamper, but that looks like that's not gonna be the case, and we will see Inkstrike Krakens getting control back here shortly.
Yeah, it looks like they just try to force control of that zone, try to force a flip there, and it works out for the moment. One of the players jumping back to their team, and we're back into brawl territory here on the zone. Here comes those Inkstrikes from our Warriors, and moving up with that cooler as well. Zap finding one, two members going down with help, stuck behind a little wall back there, and it's going to be Inkstrike Krakens falling numbers after numbers. Our Warriors holding up advantage as those Tetras go down.
Yeah, right now, Aura Warriors able to take control of the zone, and they are going to be able to get the lead. More importantly, Inkstrike Krakens had a little bit of a stagger. There were some fun, and with the assistance of Aura Warriors finding some key picks. Crab Tank planting themselves up on that tent area, and it looks like the Crab Tank is out of the picture. It looks like Butler's got interrupted. We do see the Reef Slider charging in and takes out one. A second member drops on Aura Warriors, and Inkstrike Krakens, they get the zones back and trying to reset for more aggression. And they are trying to slide around, finding the lone member from Aura Warriors, Zach, going down as well, and it will be the triple Inkstrikes at least being thrown in. They're trying to see if they can flip the zone back. They do. Another brawl of the zone, but more importantly, Aura Warriors, they have to get out of those penalty points. Zones again back in neutral.
Back in neutral, Crab Tank will help secure that zone in our Warriors' favor. Moving up towards that left side, but trying not to get collapsed on from the right. Auto bombs painting over that zone as the zap goes down. Will flip back in favor of Inkstrike Krakens. Splash moving up into mid, and that's going to be a full delayed wipeout onto Aura Warriors. And Inkstrike Krakens, this is their first chance to actually have a full sustained lockout.
This is their opportunity. They can get that sustained lockout as soon as they can. They're out of the penalty points, but Aura Warriors still decent amount of time. They got two specials, make that the third special available, but they gotta they gotta take good advantage of it. Crab Tank being pumped out there, so is the triple Inkstrike, trying to use that to get at least claim control of the zone. Inkstrike Krakens at least able to get the lead back, but of course three members drop on the side of Inkstrike Krakens. Aura Warriors, they get this zone back with a minute left to go. They gotta get through those penalty points and then some more to get the lead back here, Vapor. But this is Aura Warriors' time to shine again.
Props to that Zipcaster, or to that Stamper as well. Holding on to that Zipcaster, keeping themselves alive, but with three specials, make that all specials ready to go for Inkstrike Krakens. Here comes that Zipcaster, here comes this Reslider. This is going to be a zone flip if they're not careful, but it's not flipping just yet.
Oh.
And finally, finding that delayed wipe, jumps coming in, less than 30 seconds left on the clock. Aura Warriors finds one pick onto that Jet Squelcher. Stamper trying to play it around the side here to the bucket. Finds a trade there, but Aura Warriors need to find a way to get back to the zone here, and there's only 10 seconds left.
10 seconds left to go. Aura Warriors, they do have the zones back, but they gotta get through those penalty points, and they have to find members of Inkstrike Krakens. But look at Inkstrike Krakens, two specials available. The Crab Tank's been popped. Here's the Reef Slider. This will be a zone flip. Well done to Inkstrike Krakens with on the special coordination there, as they will take home map 1.
Reef Slider, it might not be the best special for killing, but it's really strong with the burst paint, and the burst paint is what you need to get a quick recap just like that.
Great patience all around from Inkstrike Krakens on the defense there. This was a very close game as well, even with the amount of penalty points that were applied on the side of Aura Warriors. Inkstrike Krakens, though, Crab Tank and Reef Slider literally queued up. They just had to place it correctly, and the Crab Tank just needed to do enough to space everybody else so that the Reef Slider can get the full Reef Slider pop in. They had control of that front half. They needed to get to the back half. That's what the Reef Slider needed to do, and they did just that. Just great patience and coordination all around, and that's how that first map ends their favor. And now both teams, they got to reset for Miku tower control.
This plays a lot differently than Hagglefish, so it's going to be really interesting to see how these teams are able to adapt to tower control here. A little bit different from zones, but you're moving a lot, especially for Mako. The big key area is by that snipe between the first and second checkpoint.
That snipe area is going to be insanely huge between getting that second checkpoint and that tower resetting back to mid each go round. So I would love to see how both teams work around this. I also wouldn't be surprised if both teams want to stick to something similar that they kept in Hagglefish market zones, but they have to fundamentally change how they approach this map all around. It's not as broad as they could be. You're going to see a lot of movement, as you mentioned, possibly a lot of flanks in play in Mako tower control. I like that. I like the Stamper pick from what I believe. I think it was Aura Warriors, if I'm not mistaken, that had the Stamper last time, which that may not be a bad choice with Mako tower control, but I wouldn't be surprised if they also opt to change everything up.
Yeah, so Stamper is pretty strong with Mako in general. You have those uninkable walls that you can grapple onto, chill there for a little bit, grapple onto another wall, and try to get behind your opponent pretty easily. Like, there's a lot of walls, but a lot of them are really low, so you can also get punished as well.
That's the other flip side to playing a weapon that has that zip caster, is you have to work around that Mako terrain. But if you can take full advantage of it, and able to find maybe a few members that are stuck trying to load in from the back, that could be excellent news if you're able to make that work. But again, because this map, as you mentioned, plays so differently to Hagglefish zones, I wouldn't be surprised if both teams either will opt to change it up. But at the same time, though, we've seen teams keep the same comp because either it worked last time or they think it can work here.
Yeah, we'll be heading in at some point shortly. So, Makumart tower control, again, a little bit different. Buckets are really strong here, though.
And I saw Aura Warriors had the vanilla slosher with the trip strike and everything else, but they changed out of the slosher right as I was gonna make mentions of this one. And yeah, both teams somewhat different changes. The key things I want to highlight though from Aura Warriors: the splat dualies and the vanilla splash. You got double crab tank coming out of Aura Warriors.
Crab tank and those dualies. So this is something you don't see often, but those dualies can be really strong, especially with movement around those stacks. But with 3 people on this left stack here, it's going to be a little bit of a dogfight early on here. Crab is out, but gets shredded. It seems. But Aura Warriors do take the tower first for a full 3 points.
Yeah, just the mere 3 points. Again, it's just a good feel of how control plays out. You do see Inkstrike Krakens, by the way, that is Inkstrike Krakens taking out Aura, as we do see they are trying to push right up ahead. 2 members going down, but I don't think this will be the go button quite yet, because they have to respect the crab tank that was just popped near tower. Inkstorm being thrown across the plane area mid, and this could be a very tricky fight to work with. But it looks like, though, the rest of Aura Warriors clumping up, trying to collapse onto this one lone Tenatech that finally went down by the end of it. The custom jet sculpture got the pick, and the Tetris and the Sea Jet going down is a triple in favor of Aura Warriors.
Tower been picked up. They're going to be able to take lead off this, but Trip Strike's ready to go for that T-Tech, slowing down that checkpoint from dropping anytime soon. Dooley's holding around towards this right side of the tower, trying to make a play, finds one. Working with that crab tank, the other one decides to jump out. Crab tank did end up going down, but the T-Tech goes down as well. Still advantage Aura Warriors here, as they still have tower. Booyah Bomb ready to go from this forge here, but they need to find a way to get past this checkpoint and keep these picks constantly going into their favor.
Well, 3 members down on Inkstrike Krakens is easily going to help out matters here, and that 3 down comes in at a crucial time. You see the 2 crab takes being popped there. The Crab Tank popped on the tower for the full defense. And now Inkstrike Krakens, they don't want to lose this second checkpoint. This second checkpoint can be easily contested at this stage, and Aura Warriors just gonna patiently leave that tower. The Blue Bomb pretty much just thrown to pretty much put paint down at the very least, and it looks like they're gonna still retain tower possession at this point. Inkstrike Krakens, Zach and Yaki, they both go down to this T-Tech here from Inkstrike Krakens. It's an excellent double that forces the tower to reset back to mid. Spectral, well done, as you have saved the push for Inkstrike Krakens.
Yeah, saving that push, finds another with the bomb as well. Trip Strike's ready to go. It's the Inkstrike Krakens looking to find a few more picks before they make a push, but they can't wait too long because they're going to lose a lot of map control if they just chill back like they are now. Aura Warriors moving in, but they overextend just a hair too much, and they go 2 down. Trying to back up here. Jet Squelcher working against those Dark Tetras, staying alive, but they're stuck in the corner as well, and they find the pick before going down to the tech.
It's just a bunch of trading, but at this point, Aura Warriors is going to be happy taking out more members from Inkstrike Krakens, because Inkstrike Krakens having a rough go getting out of mid at this point to even get a sustained push going. And there's something you have to factor in there. The Crab Tanks is also just going to be insanely oppressive from Aura Warriors there as well. You have the Splash and the Splash Buoys to factor in, along with the Booyah Bomb. There's just so much paint as well that's just going to deter Inkstrike Krakens out of the picture. And we do see Yaki touching the tower at the very least to keep the pressure going. Nathan and the rest of the crew trying to see if Inkstrike Krakens can finally break through at this point, but they gotta get those picks in. It's 3 members down, but they lose 2 though, and losing 2 is gonna slow the pushing power by a little bit. It's 3 down on both sides, Vapor. This could be an interesting finish if Inkstrike Krakens have a response.
That was huge for Aura Warriors. The Dualies don't find one, but all 3 of their members go down, but they find two of their own. First checkpoint, trying to bring it down, cool it down a bit. 30 seconds left on clock. Crab Tank built, getting popped out, and it's going to be shredded on the side of the Inkstrike Krakens. Dooley's finding an assist on another. Here comes the jump, and they're staying alive just for a hair bit longer. Spectre from behind finds a pick, trying to hold on to this push, but they end up going down as well. That is a delayed wipe here. Aura Warriors advantage. Here comes this Crab Tank Keon, and once more, Aura Warriors holding on to mid as much as they can.
They gotta keep this pressure onto mid, and somebody has to touch the tower for Inkstrike Krakens, but this power has to not be intercepted here. Aura Warriors a little scary because the rest of Inkstrike Krakens, I don't think they're gonna be anywhere near this tower as fast as they can. They lose 3, and that Crab Tank is easily going down. The wipeout to secure it, and Aura Warriors makes this 1-1 in the set, coming into a very competitive third map, and this has really been a tale of two teams here between both maps here today.
Yeah, it comes out to who is able to take advantage of that snipe, and it ended up coming down to Aura Warriors. A little bit of a fist bump there, but Aura Warriors, they were able to take control of the map. They were able to hold mid for a long time, and when they lost mid, they were able to take it right back.
Yeah, and the key things to note too, that double crab and Booyah Bomb combo from Aura Warriors pretty much meant you have so much range protection and the Booyah Bomb to just completely push Inkstrike Krakens out there into positions they cannot contest with. And Inkstrike Krakens need to win a huge fight in order to get that tower control moving right along. And by the time they just couldn't get past 53 points per minute from what we noticed there, it pretty much spelled the end of Inkstrike Krakens because now they were having panic. All the painting was being put down on Aura Warriors, and I do applaud the Crab Tank trying to get the tower pushing, but they lost everybody, and all that Aura Warriors need to do is hug the tower and combine their forces to take out that one lone Crab Tank on the tower. So we end the second half on a 1-1 tie, this set being determined on Rainmaker on Humpback Pump Track.
Very fast-paced map here. It could go either way. Expect those right side pushes all the time, but you need to watch for a flank around the far side because those flanks can be very deadly if you aren't ready for them.
Oh, absolutely. You have to respect that there are so many ways to flank around Humpback Pump Track as well. This is also a very condensed map, and the checkpoints being on both sides on both sides of the map there respectively. So this could be, and also this map can be very fast in terms of Rainmaker pushes. Things can go from 0 to 100 fast, depending on the state of how the game goes. Any team losing multiple members could easily spell a lot of points being lost here. So both teams having to understand that they gotta figure out how they can approach this one.
Yeah, a lot of speed that you need to look out for. I don't expect those crab tanks to go anywhere. And especially with those dualies cause a lot of issues as well, so...
I mean, you have to respect. I love the change from Aura Warriors, by the way, going to the Splat dualies. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to it again. That change fundamentally had their double crab and Buoy Bomb just an insanely oppressive comp work out so well. And Inkstrike Krakens, now they have to figure out how to respond. Both teams showing their hands in weapons that they can play against. This could be a very interesting map in terms of what weapons we could see all around. As you mentioned, I think the crab tanks are going to be the constant. They could see Aura Warriors could keep the double crab if they want. Inkstrike Krakens had one. They could dish out a second if they really want to, but maybe both teams want to change things up if they desire to, especially factoring the fact that this is a small map in Rainmaker.
Pretty small, definitely, as you say. Sloshers work amazing, exactly like how we were talking about on Makamart for a little bit, but you have all of mid, which Slosher's good on.
Absolutely, and Sloshers can easily combat around mid there. Excuse me. As hey, if you can dish out the vanilla Slosher or even the tri-Slosher, either options work really well. You could be seeing a lot of interesting fights and advantages being played. But again, the Sloshers have to play very well around mid as much as they can. And yeah, with the Rainmaker being positioned, everybody trying to fight around it, I wouldn't be surprised if both teams try to go full on aggressive, trying to fight for the first points and the first checkpoint.
That checkpoint is going to be a mad dash. Whoever gets the first 3 down is where it's going to go to. So you need to be ready to go either way at Expo on the side of Aura Warriors. So it looks like that they're going to try to play a little bit of a slower route on the side of Aura Warriors, where we have a lot of Object Shredder trying to get a little bit fast-paced, especially with that Tacticooler for Inkstrike Krakens.
I want to note that the ballpoint is in play from Inkstrike Krakens. It's going to be Youngathon being used.
There's the 3 down.
More comment on that one later as 3 members do go down, but the Crab Tank saves the initial push. Could have been the first checkpoint, but a timely Crab Tank plays that one well in defense, and Aura Warriors, at least they hold this one, but now they can keep moving up, and this will be 2 jumps being punished by Aura, and a 3rd member dropping as well. This Rainmaker, though, not being picked up right away. I think they're going to be content resetting this from what it appears here, and it will be, again, it's going to be Aura Warriors. I think they're going to try to set up for paint, and then try to go for a bigger push coming up soon.
Yeah, Aura Warriors need to be careful with how slow they play, because Inkstrike Krakens can play super quick. So they need to try to speed up the pace a little bit and find those picks where they can. They find 2, they get the checkpoint, and the Rainmaker carrier stays alive a little bit longer.
Yeah, now they're gonna break through this one. Here we do see it looks like it's gonna be the Nautilus and the Splat Dualies dropping on the side of Aura Warriors. A nice hold there as well, and it will be 2 members. I don't think they're gonna be able to push this one up any further unless they're optically be very, very spicy, but nope, they're gonna be content with this Rainmaker resetting. More importantly, the first checkpoint to Aura Warriors. I do want to highlight, though, from earlier in the side, the ballpoint splatling with Object Shredder as well. This is going to be insanely key for Youngathon to take full advantage of that one. As soon as they say that, though, the ballpoint has that Inkjet ready to go if they want to pop it.
Rip Strike's Inkjet ready to go for the Inkstrike Krakens. Here comes that jet and Strikes moving back into mid. They do still need to get that first checkpoint. Nautilus moving to that right side. Rainmaker looking to go left. They find 2 members. Rainmaker trying to make a move towards this left side, but they get shut down by a burst bomb. Zach able to follow up with that. Finds another trade, and Rainmaker's all alone in that corner.
That more Rainmaker being stacked into the corner where really Aura Warriors are just going to be content with just defending it with all their might. A very spicy route from Inkstrike Krakens, but it just didn't pan out. And both teams having to reset it ultimately means Aura Warriors just gonna be content again, more control of the map as much as they can. Now that the Rainmaker's being reset, though, nice flanking from Spectral to at least put that Crab Tank down to 1, and then having that Dualies go down as well. Both Splat Dualies and Splash going down on the side of Aura Warriors. Inkstrike Kraken, though, can they pick up this Rainmaker and get the first checkpoint? They've tried to fire from distance. They're gonna go with the more saner option of the right-hand side, and they break through.
3 members of Aura Warriors were on that left side, last one out of the spawn. Just swing it right as fast as you can. Inkstrike Krakens mostly jumping out, except the one player who's just swimming away, trying to escape, but it's going to be Aura shutting them down, and they're going to grab the Rainmaker, trying to push for the lead, but they get shut down very quickly. Crab isn't enough to pop it. Aura Warriors hanging on a little bit longer to this lead. They pick it up, and they're going to swing it far away from that checkpoint.
That I get the idea of trying to pick up the Rainmaker to force the lead, but with all the paint coverage, it was just a little bold at that point in time. And now for Aura Warriors, as you mentioned, putting that Rainmaker far away to checkpoint, now gaining more points on the board, knowing that this lead is no longer safe. They're trying to paint out that path as Butter does drop on the side of Inkstrike Krakens. Now Zach and the rest of the crew trying to push up ahead. There is 2 members down though.
Huge.
It looks like the 3rd member has dropped, and this is gonna be a lot more points for Aura Warriors as the Rainmaker shots are following up suit. Inkstrike Kraken's trying to find a response. They're having to escape as the Nautilus and everybody else is in play. They got a path carved out. All they gotta do is slam it home. They cannot slam this one home. It's 2 members. It's a 3rd member down though. Aura Warriors, they gotta break through this barrier. Can they finally slam it home? They cannot. Inkstrike Kraken's 3 members they have taken out at this stage. It is going to be an all-out brawl by the end of this one, but can they survive and stop this push? No sneak push to speak of. Inkstrike Kraken's barely enough time.
Going over through the rail, a little bit risky there from Spectra, but they need to find something with their team. Trying to go for the far side, trying to make this left side jump. Can they make the left side jump? And they just miss it. What a play by the Nautilus to shut that one down.
Yeah, they shut that one down. Big time, insanely huge, and 2 members down on Inkstrike Krakens. Respawn's not really favoring them, and Aura Warriors are just trying to paint around this one and maybe pick it up for the complete stall. And Inkstrike Krakens, they drop this one. Aura Warriors, they will take the set 2-1 in what was a very nutty finish, to say the least, here in Humpback Rainmaker.
Yeah, oh my goodness. If that Nautilus didn't get those fall-off shots onto the Rainmaker there, the only thing that would have saved them from the potential knockout would be the Nautilus from mid or bombs.
For sure. I mean, this was literally a game of Inkstrike Krakens just trying to do everything they can to stop this incredibly fast push from the Aura Warriors at the tail end of that one. Multiple attempts to slam that one home, but they just couldn't do it. Inkstrike Krakens were coming out clutch at each time, but the unfortunate part about that is there was not that much time left. Inkstrike Krakens, they just needed to find a miracle push. The left side bold jump basically to get that Rainmaker home, but completely eliminated, and Aura Warriors, all they had to do was just sit around the Rainmaker and then just protect it with their life.
Yeah, you just need to grab that Rainmaker, protect it, and make sure your opponents are unable to take the lead right back, especially after you bring it all the way down to 2 points remaining. So let's take a quick look over at the bracket as we will head off to a quick break here as we get ready for round 3. Make sure you grab some water, grab a snack as well. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
We do see that Crab Tank trying to put paint down to make sure that they can get this Rainmaker going. The Trinuvo drops as well, but that Rainmaker resets by the end of it, and that Rainmaker is back to mid, and we're going to be seeing a lot of members going down.
They tie.
And Hellish Akuma, they pick up the Power Clam, and they're going to be able to cash this one in.
Blaster finds 3 people in that corner. Expo's last, and they're just going to try to stall this basket as much as they can. Try to get their teammates back in if they can get that. Here comes that Zipcaster. Here comes this Reslider. This is going to be a zone flip if they're not careful, but it's not flipping just yet. And finally finding that delayed wipe, jumps coming in less than 30 seconds.
And they have to find members of Inkstrike Krakens, but look at Inkstrike Krakens, 2 specials available. The Crab Tank spin pop. Here's the Rage Slider. This will be a zone flip. Well done to Inkstrike Krakens with on the special coordination there. And see if Inkstrike Krakens can finally break through at this point. But they gotta get those picks in. It's 3 members down, but they lose 2 though. And losing 2 is gonna slow the pushing power by a little bit. It's 3 down on both sides, favor this pressure onto mid. And somebody has to touch the tower for Inkstrike Krakens, but this power has to not be intercepted here. War is a little scary because the rest of Inkstrike Krakens, I don't think they're gonna be anywhere near this tower as fast as they can. They lose 3, and that Crab Tank is easily going down. The wipeout to they got a path carved now. All they gotta do is slam it home. They cannot slam this one home. It's 2 members. It's a 3rd member down though. Aura Warriors, they gotta break through the barrier. Can they finally slam it home? They cannot. Inkstrike Krakens, 3 members.
Get those plushies ready. Get your chocolate as well. We have Kit Kat versus Miku Plushies on stream coming up next. I am Vapor back here with Keon, and I'm ready. I'm just ready. That's all I can say.
That took me a second to realize I was not sure where you were going with that, and I'm like, oh, duh. Yeah, we got Kit Kat versus Miku Plushies coming up. By the way, 10 out of 10 on team names here between these two teams, so gotta give them so much credit. I'm looking forward to this match in particular. There are a few names definitely I recognize between for sure on one team. You got Rooster on Kit Kat. Definitely keep an eye out on them as well. On the other side, the Miku Plushies. Definitely some names being thrown around. Maybe some familiar ones, but more importantly, as I normally say in most matches, gonna be curious to see what these teams bring out stylistically.
Yeah, Clan Blitz Inkblot Art Academy is where we will be starting out on. But before you get into that, what's your favorite type of chocolate? Crunch by a mile. Then Kit Kat's my second one. What about yours? You're legally supposed to say Kit Kat because that's who we have on. Okay.
No. I have to break the trend. I have to give you the serious answer. Kit Kat's my second favorite, which means the ultimate Kiln Jinx is gonna come in and Kit Kat's gonna win it all. That's exactly what that means. No. So at this.
Our lovely producer here is telling us that their favorite chocolate is Miku Plushies. We love you, producer.
See, I deserve to get roasted for bringing out Crunch in a as my favorite one. I'm sure the rest of Kit Kat's gonna be questioning me later on this. But real talk though, Vapor. We got Clan Blitz on Inkblot Art Academy. This is a very fun map all around. You do have the ramp lean up to the basket that both teams can take advantage on. Gonna love to see the two different avenues both teams want to play. Let's see what both teams are gonna be dishing out weapon wise, and nothing really too out of the ordinary. Big callouts here is that we're gonna see the Splatoons on the side of Kit Kat, on the side of Miku Plushies. The thing to highlight is the water for Deco on my end.
Yeah, keep in mind that the Nautilus is going to be really important to anchor down those points. Keep that aggression, anchor them down as well with your very fast kill speed. It's going to be back and forth this entire game, but with three members going down early on Miku Plushies, this is going to be advantage Kit Kat here as they make their early push.
Yes, Kit Kat has the opportunity to get a nice push going, but it looks like no power claim in sight, and it looks like they're not going to really take full advantage of the multiple members down on the side of Miku Plushie, so just opting to retreat, probably looking to get some more control as much as they can. Rest of Miku Plushie is going to be okay, just trying to reset and make sure they can get everybody out of there. We're going to see 10 missiles all targeted right towards Rooster as two members drop on the side of Miku Plushies, and Kit Kat now has a power clam. Let's see if they can bite through and get a push.
Power clam ready to go here. Weebly trying to move around that storm. Two members going down. Rooster on the wiper finds a few more assists, but that's three down on the side of Miku Plushies. Wiper on Miku Plushies trying to do something, but it's going to be Rooster able to score with that power clam. Hammer ready to go, but can they get any more follow-up outside of the power clam alone? It doesn't seem like it.
Yeah, the judge, one and done push really, and Kit Kat losing three members on the side. That one not with the member on the nod really doing a good job on defense, and we're still seeing multiple members going down. The rest of Miku Plushies pushed up after the initial push, just trying to get full control of mid and see if they can get as many clams as they can. They do pick up that power clam. I believe that was the emergency clam back as base. Triple Inkstrike being thrown in there. Rooster found an avenue, and Rooster does go down. The Aqua Brush drops as well, and this will be Miku Plushies getting their push in to get things going. The second power clam is not going to get cashed in, and there will be a few jumps here, but these will get punished by Kit Kat. Both teams accomplish a one and done push, Vapor.
Huge stop. You hold on to that lead, and you make it less effective for Miku Plushies as well, just by shutting it down without getting anything on the board. Mr. Unsus holding this left side here, and Trying to use this Octobrush to hold off everyone else from rushing back. Wiper with that hammer ready to go, plus that power clam. Zipcaster coming out, and they're trying to make a move, but there goes the Zipcaster hammer out from Rooster. Finds one here, and Keon, this is advantage KitKat on defense.
Yeah, KitKat holding the defensive line very, very well, able to find multiple members out of the picture, and we do see a power clam being spawned in. KitKat just needs to get that power clam too. Hopefully they can find a few more members out of the picture there, as we do see Weebly there trying to see if Weebly can navigate themselves through. Miku Plushies trying to backdoor, but not able to. Rooster shuts that door down, as right now KitKat again holding strong on defense, and almost attempted push from Miku Plushies falls a little bit short. And we still are going to be seeing a lot of map control really on the side of KitKat, at least for now. But KitKat loses 3 by the end of this one, and that power clam is going to get collapsed on real quick. And this push is going to give Miku Plushies the lead.
Huge play by Vin here, pushing up with their Wiper Deca, heating pressure up, able to allow their teammate to get that power clam in. Again, one and done, 71 points remaining, 10 plus a 10 penalty for Miku Plushies here. But this is still advantage for them, as they're able to hold on so much of mid. Rooster throws that hammer, unable to find anything out of it, as Miku Plushies still has full control of mid.
Yeah, right now for Miku Plushies, holding the line is going to be insanely key as they're able to take out 2 members of KitKat. Again, KitKat just can't get past that area, and Miku Plushies is trying to go full speed ahead. We do see the triple Inkstrike being run, a very bold triple Inkstrike. Somehow they stay alive. What on earth just happened there as Miku Plushies trying to get another push started as they get 2 members down, and we do see that power clam, but the follow-up is actually going to be a little slow. Vin has 3 of those clams, and I think they're just okay pushing them out, but this is not going to be a one-and-done situation as they get clams the last moment here. Vapor, the basket's going to close. KitKat has 1 push left, really.
Yeah, less than 10 seconds on the clock. They do have that pity clam, but they need to find something. Watch the flank, though. Crab getting shut down momentarily. Doolies trying to work together with the Wiper, and they find that pick, but this is the final chance for KitKat here. Less than 15 more seconds of overtime, and here comes Mr. Unsus with that Zipcaster. Finds one, but they need to make a move, and make a move now. Dooley's unable to find that power clam score, but they have to score right now. They get the power clam into the basket. They're scoring those clams in. Mr. Unsus, a few more clams, 1 more clam from Rooster. They have that clam ready to go. If Rooster can score that, they win. They throw the hammer, they get the clam in the basket. Game number 1 in favor of KitKat.
Look at how many seconds were left on overtime, Vapor. Literally a fraction of a second, maybe 1, before overtime ran out on KitKat. It was a desperation push onto Miku Plushies territory, but they get that push in right at the nick of time, and they had all the follow-up in the world for KitKat to swing it back the other direction. Yes, the hammer may have delayed things a little bit, but they definitely needed that to ensure they can get the 1 small clamp in, and it was enough to make the difference. Had it been a second or 2 later, we could have been talking Miku Plushies taking map 1.
They played that as tight as they possibly could, and it worked into their favor, which I think that's the more crazy part about that, with how tight their windows of opportunity were, especially there at the end. They scored that power clam into the basket with, I want to say, frames remaining on that timer. And then, again, maybe a second left of the basket staying open, they were able to score that final clam in.
Literally, as you mentioned, literal frames. They could have not cut that any more close than they could have. They needed that desperation push. Again, overtime was just ticking down the entire way through, so they needed to get that. They needed to get something started. Great hammer usage as well to get to a certain full control of that territory, and really, that's all that KitKat needed. So they could have not cut that any more close. I'm sure KitKat doesn't want to do that again, leading into Brinewater Springs Splat Zones. They want to try to make sure they don't cut that as close as they could. Obviously, no opportunity for that to do so because zone cap is going to be key, but I'm going to be curious to see how both teams play, especially with that frantic ending at the end of that.
Yeah. Well, we have to give it to Rooster for the cleanup. They used that hammer, finished things off, got the lead changing score in. But we also have to give it to that Octobrush, Mr. Unsus, able to use that Zipcaster and just open up the opportunity. They found one. I don't remember if they found the second, but it allowed the members of Kit Kat to move up to that ramp and start to move onto the plat.
I mean, just great coordination to at least get so much paint done on that turf. You mentioned Brewster just setting that up, Unsus setting that up for that group. That Octobrush Zipcaster was on point. One member at least going down. That was still enough value to get the push sustained. And we can keep talking about that first map all day, but that couldn't have been any more close. We're on to Brightwater zones. Few quick notes to note. Long-range weapons are very good in this one. We're going to be seeing an E-leader for sure. Great change on the side of Miku Plushies to get the E-leader in if Ben can find the picks.
Yeah, like really nice change here. E-leader can shut down the entirety of mid, but you also have to keep in mind the Zipcaster from the Octobrush, the Crab Tank from the Doolies as well. Those can all shut the E-leader down itself as well.
I'd like to also highlight there, the Wiper Deco also in play. 10 missiles may force the E-leader to have to move just a tiny bit, which may be enough of a change if Kit Kat can take advantage of it. As Kit Kat, they lose members right away. Miku Plushies get full control. 2-for-2 trade on both sides. More importantly, Vin is still up. So the zone is going to likely be capped for the foreseeable future, well, at least until now. As Kit Kat, they wrestle this one back. The Octobrush, that Zipcaster cannot find Vin, and in fact getting shut down by itself. Two members dropping on the side of Kit Kat. Miku Plushies now trying to move upwards. They neutralize point and will get it back, thanks in large part to a 3 down.
Brewster just jumping right back to their beacon that they placed down a bit earlier, but they end up getting picked off almost immediately after landing to that Crab Tank. 2 members going down on the side of Kit Kat. Few more penalty points to break through. Staggered 3 down. Tech trying to build up those strikes, but there's going to be people rushing right in, and they end up getting picked off. Miku Plushies playing this a bit quick here as Kit Kat building up those specials, taking it slow. They're letting the timer tick down a bit as they get those specials ready for a retake.
Yeah, special coordination can be insanely key here. The Zipcaster on the Octobrush is available, likely from Mr. Unsus there, as the zone does flip. Zone flips for now, but it is going to be Kit Kat retaining control of it. It's 21 points remaining really for Miku Plushies. A nice sustained push. 2 members going down on the side of Kit Kat. Another member going down. Weebly drops as well. We're going to be seeing 3 members down on the side of Kit Kat. Miku Plushies, they retake zone, and earlier they played very fast. Another splat on their territory. Miku Plushies are looking for the lockout.
Moving in, it's going to be this Nautilus. The Doolies did drop onto the side, looking to make a play on a flank. Here comes this Crab Tank from the Doolies, trying to go into the zone. They do get the neutral, force one of the members to drop down, but they just went in alone, couldn't get anything out of it outside of a short stall.
Yeah, just a short stall, and really Miku Plushies 10 points to go. There needs to be the contest, but the contest is just a tight tag too slow right now, and Kit Kat cannot retake zones. Vapor, once again, we enter another round where both teams take a map apiece.
But this time, it was all Miku Plushies. Once they were able to hold on to that zone, they hardly even let go of it. That E-leader was just too dominant in the back, and they couldn't get to it at all. The one chance they had with Zipcaster, that Zipcaster ended up getting just short of finding the pick onto the E-leader. They were able to get the cap off it, but they weren't able to hold any sustainability because the Zipcaster wasn't up fast enough because the Octobrush just kept going down all the time.
That's a great call out too, because we saw the Octobrush trying to find multiple opportunities to get Vin off of that position with the E-leader. Vin had to move just a tiny bit, but he didn't really deter Vin too much, and I gotta give credit here to Miku Plushies. Great change to the E-leader, just a phenomenal switch over to there, as that E-leader, if played correctly, can completely shut out the other team from trying to push too far in with the zones in Brightwater Springs. And maybe we could be seeing the same again coming into Hagglefish Market Tower Control. Both teams knotted up one map apiece. Another close set with KitKat wrestling the first one in overtime, the second one being all Miku Plushies. Both teams now have to figure out what they want to dish out in Hagglefish Market Tower Control and take this set home 2-1 on their side.
I honestly think Tower Control is the best mode for Hagglefish Market. It's so enjoyable, where it's just like, okay, if I'm a short-range weapon, I could just go for a flank around the right side. If I'm long-range, just set up towards the left and try to keep them back as much as you possibly can. Mid-range can go through that flat area and still have a good amount of range to touch that tower. So if any type of weapon can succeed really well on Hagglefish.
Yeah, a lot of weapons can work out so well. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if Vin sticks to that B leader. At the same time, though, you could be seeing either team try to fundamentally change to something more aggressive as we're about to load right in. Again, KitKat gonna be on your left hand side, the yellow side this time. Once again, for Miku Plushies, they're gonna be going with this light purplish color, and this time there's gonna be no E leader, no surprise on this one, but we're gonna be seeing mirrors across the board, both teams sporting Splat Dualies and Wiper Decos.
Yeah,
and Tentatex even.
Only difference is the Octobrush and the Jet Squelcher. I definitely like this Jet Squelcher pick because of that Toxic Mist. There's only one way to back up on the defending side, and that is through a very tight ramp that you have to rush through. So it can easily shut down someone from backing up. Early missiles out from Rooster on the side of KitKat. The two members going down for Miku Plushies. Drop those beacons and start to make a move here early on. Mr. Unsus with that Zipcaster ready to go. Trying to zone out this top right area early on here to try to make this first checkpoint easy.
Yeah, nice zone out there from Unsus, using the Octobrush, trying to make sure the Jet Squelcher is not in the picture, and that will be that first checkpoint, as described. This is gonna be, so that first checkpoint going down for KitKat as the Crab Tank set up for another nice tower control defense there, and this time KitKat, they got some really good control across the board. The Wiper Deco on Miku Plushies and going down as well. Miku Plushies having to basically move across the board, but they take out 2, they take out 3 members, and this push is done. Resetting back to mid will be the tower, and Miku Plushies time for a counter push.
Really good play by the T-Tech, dropping into mid from that right side. Opened up that space, but it's going to be the Octobrush moving in, finding 2 picks. Tentatek trying to hold on to this. Chum trying to go after Rooster, but just leaves them be, holding on to this right side. Switching sights over to the Dualies, but just plays for life in the long run.
Yeah, but right now we are seeing 2 members down on the side of KitKat here, but the tower resetting back to mid, so really no total control yet from Miku Plushies. They're still playing this one very patiently. Crab Tank on the tower once again, name of the game, as the T-Tech and Miso, as well Chum and Miso specifically, trying to pressure out the rest of KitKat from doing anything there, as they're trying to rotate members off the tower. A little bit of a juggling game per se here around this tower, but I will say this is going to be resetting back quick. Mr. Unsus on that Zipcaster, missing one of the connections. It's going to be okay though, but they do lose 2 in that process, but this tower is going back to mid despite KitKat losing 3.
Last one is that Octobrush, and they're just going to play in this top right area just to chuck bombs onto those towers and surrounding areas. Keep them off tower at all costs. Trip strikes getting thrown out. Tower resets the checkpoint, so they need to go through that whole checkpoint again. That 12-point checkpoint. Chom trying to move up through this ramp. 2 minutes left on the clock, but they need to focus this checkpoint now to have a chance.
Miku Plushies is just opting to rotate members off the checkpoint on constantly here. You're seeing the Tenno missiles just making sure that this buys enough time for KitKat to have the contest. But no matter what, the Miku Plushies, they do pick up that tower, as we do see the Zipcaster going in, but the Zipcaster is shut down! The Zipcaster is shut down! Miku Plushies have a decent path, but they got off the tower once again, but now they're back on it. This is going to be the lead change coming up here shortly, as they're on to the second checkpoint. Both members losing 1 at this stage, as KitKat trying to find that response. Unsus finds the member on the tower. It's down to 21 points remaining. The Octobrush is coming out huge from Mr. Unsus. It is a nice hole, but KitKat, now they are trailing.
I'm pretty sure there was someone on that right side looking for a flank that ended up deciding to just back off. But it's going to be the Zipcaster once more, finding a pick onto the 10 attack. But this is one of the final chances for KitKat. They maybe have 2 more chances to make a push. But here comes this Storm, finds the pick onto Weebly, Brush coming out, finding one, and finding another. 2 down on each side, looking for the player in mid, and they're super weak, but decides to play for life through those missiles.
Yeah, right now they gotta play through those missiles, and the rest pick, I think, have to start a push going weird. But the key thing here that I want to highlight, special coordination has to be insanely key, because they're past the second, they're gonna be approaching the second checkpoint. This could be a tough checkpoint to contest, as 3 members down, as you may have mentioned, 3 members down on both sides here, Vapor. It's gonna be down to 15 seconds left on that clock. And 10 seconds now. This is going to be KitKat. This is pretty much their last chance to push. And I've seen this before where they can turn this around in a hurry. Mr. Unsa's trying to find something with the Octobrush, but it's not going to be there. Entering overtime. Here's the Crab Tank on the tower. Can they find this clutch? They take out one, but members are off the tower. And Finn snipes it back. They were off the tower for just a hair too long. And Miku Plushies wins this one 2-1 in this play all 3.
They used the trip strikes too early. No! They used those trip strikes when they were starting their push, not to help hold on and sustain the push. And those strikes, they just held a line to where Miku Plushies already were. But they weren't far enough to make any sort of difference. Unfortunate throw, but really good special coordination by Miku Plushies at the end to just shut down with those missiles, with that Crab Tank as well, hop on that tower and call things out. Miku Plushies taking this set 2-1 over KitKat.
I mean, to just summarize this set, KitKat winning the first one on a last-ditch effort in overtime with great special coordination in Clan Blitz, and then the next map was all Miku Plushies and Brine War zones. A lot of back and forth, really a few things that could have changed in favor of KitKat, but it just wasn't enough, and just being off the tower for just a second too long, Vin was able to snipe that tower back, and Miku Plushies takes this one home 2-1 in this 3rd round. But Vapor, that is going to be it for us in this first block. Thank you so much for being an awesome partner for me. Where can the people find you?
You can find me over on Twitter and Twitch at V4P0R_SPL. You can find my co-com here, Keon, over on Twitter and Twitch as well at Keon2570. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for staff and production for having us on the mic tonight. You have a wonderful rest of your low ink. Saphantoma coming up next.
using that crab tank, trying to put paint down to make sure that they can get this Rainmaker going. The Trinuvo drops as well, but that Rainmaker resets by the end of it, and that Rainmaker is back to mid, and we're going to be seeing a lot of members going down.
They tie.
And Hellish Akuma, they pick up the Power Clam, and they're going to be able to cash this one in.
Blaster finds 3 people in that corner. Expo's last, and they're just going to try to stall this basket as much as they can. Try to get their teammates back in if they can get that. Here comes that Zipcaster. Here comes this Reslider. This is going to be a zone flip if they're not careful, but it's not flipping just yet. And finally finding that delayed wipe, jumps coming in less than 30 seconds.
And they have to find members of Inkstrike Krakens, but look at Inkstrike Krakens, 2 specials available. The crab tank's been popped. Here's the Reslider. This will be a zone flip. Well done to Inkstrike Krakens with on the special coordination there. And see if Inkstrike Krakens can finally break through at this point. But they gotta get those picks in. It's 3 members down, but they lose 2 though. And losing 2 is gonna slow them pushing power by a little bit. It's 3 down on both sides favor this pressure onto mid. And somebody has to touch the tower for Inkstrike Krakens, but this power has to not be intercepted here. Forward is a little scary because the rest of Inkstrike Krakens, I don't think they're gonna be anywhere near this tower as fast as they can. They lose 3, and that crab tank is easily going down. The wipeout to they got a path carved out. All they gotta do is slam it home. They cannot slam this one home. It's 2 members. It's a 3rd member down though. Aura Warriors, they gotta break through this barrier. Can they finally slam it home? They cannot. Inkstrike Krakens, 3 members.
Our clam into the basket. They're scoring those clams in. Mr. Unsus, few more clams. 1 more clam from Rooster. They have that clam ready to go. If Rooster can score that, they win. They throw the hammer. They get the clam in the basket. Game number 1 in favor of Kit Kat.
welcome back, Low Ink gamers. We're getting ready for round 4 here of Low Ink Day 1. My name is Toma. I'm going to be one of your commentators here today, and I've got my awesome friend Saf here with me. How are you doing today, Saf?
Good morning, Toma. I'm doing really good here today for July Low Ink 2023. Looking forward to our round 4. We have Krill Streak versus Team Biscuits, Toma. Two frequent flyers here in the Low Ink scene, and they're actually ready to get started right here on Rainmaker Scorch Gorge right now. There is no time to be wasted starting right now. And I see a Carbon Roller. I see a lot of Bucket, Toma.
Yeah, you know, always a great bucket map here, I think. You know, you've got a lot of ledges and things you can kind of shoot over, especially in mid and try to poke up on that snipe area. I love to see those bucket picks, but right now they're going to be going out trying to see if we can get first pop of this Rainmaker. It looks like advantage is going to be going to Team Biscuits, as now this roller's moving forward, trying to see if they can find a pick. Finds 2 there on to Krill Streak, going to be giving them an advantage, a triple as well. Just the B bucket, the full wipeout onto Krill Streak, going to allow Team Biscuits to be able to move this Rainmaker. They just have to be able to pop it once again, but that is going to give time for Krill Streak to get back in and maybe try to put a stop to this before he can reach that first checkpoint.
Yeah, and it's looking here, actually, Krill Streak is the one in the advantage. We had a slight color shift going on, but Krill Streak is going to be taking first advantage here. Team Biscuits trying to follow up and trying to prevent this Rainmaker push, and they are successful in doing so. Krill Streak having trouble taking advantage of these this man opportunity, Toma. They're looking to see if they can push that middle area. Definitely looking to see if you can push the left. Left side is usually the most optimal way to go if you were Krill Streak there, but just not quite able to find a point of entry that is successful for them, unfortunately. But Team Biscuits is looking to try to make an entry point of their own here, but with that Trizuka following up, it's going to make it difficult for them. They're going to have to fall back.
Yeah, they definitely are. Right now, that Rainmaker finally going down, and now both teams going to be battling it out. The man advantage currently on the side of Krill Streak. They're going to be popping that Rainmaker, moving up here forward. You've got that splash in this Carbon Roller, kind of leading the charge here, seeing if they can sneak something in, but the Slosher putting a great stop in there. But you see that Carbon Roller already just in a great position, saying, hey, we lost the Rainmaker, but we're going to keep this going as long as we can. The Slosher jumping down to try to put a stop to things, but looks like they're going to be dropping those Tri-Strikes in a little bit of a panic, somehow live through that, but not for too long, as the other members of Krill Streak are going to come around, kind of collapse in on them, and still make it to the Rainmaker in time to stop the reset. They've got 2 down on Team Biscuits. This Crab Tank out to pop the Rainmaker, so it looks like they are going to be able to get the dunk here, but Team Biscuits set up to defend isn't going to want to let Krill Streak get this any further.
Yeah, and I think having that right side flank was absolutely huge. You had HWL here jumping down from the side, and then you had one other member of Biscuits able to jump down from that right side and help out from the flank. And right away, that wipeout is going to be really advantageous for Team Biscuits, as they are able to get the dunk themselves as well. So we're in a classic game of Splatoon 2 Rainmaker here, and Team Biscuits is looking to try to make some forward momentum. They have a pretty good start getting past that pillow there, but in a 2 versus 2 situation, this could be dire for them to try to hold this Rainmaker here to make sure they can get a little bit more ground going, and that's exactly what they're going to do here, kind of using the Tri-Strikes as some cover here, but unfortunately still going down, not able to get that final push that they were looking for.
Absolutely. The Tri-Strikes were really great there to be able to create some cover for their Rainmaker player to move forward here. As we both know, Saf, this is kind of one of those maps where you don't really see knockouts happen that much. It's really hard to get all the way up into your enemy spawn without them just respawning back in and killing you with their spawn armor up. So a push to 20 is definitely a really solid push. You know, definitely by no means going to be invincible, but going to be a tall order for Krill Streak to come back in. But right now, they're right here in mid. They've got that cooler up. They've got specials online. Looks like they're ready to start making a push of their own, but they're going to have to deal with this Crab Tank coming out that's raining down that pressure. The Crab going to take 1 out before being broken by the Rainmaker, and now the Splash making their way towards mid to see if they can find in sort of an off-angle approach, but no, they are going to be spotted out there by Nova, who's going to get the kill on them, but Krill Streak's push ended it there with just 1 left up. That Splash going to be providing some jumps in or just gaining some space for their team to come back. This is 50 seconds left on the clock. Saf, now Team Biscuits left. It looks like they're kind of pulling it back for a minute, maybe going to take it over here to this right-hand side. Going to be a kind of awkward space for Krillstreak to have to deal with if the Rainmaker goes down here, which it looks exactly what their plan was. Going down here, now Krillstreak's put in a little bit of an awkward situation.
Yeah, and unfortunately too, with that suction bomb taking down and putting Krillstreak into the delayed soft wipe there, you have Team Biscuits having real strong mid control right now. That Rainmaker is in a key defensive position for Team Biscuits right now, Toma. Krillstreak is going to have to be careful where they can take these fights, and you can see the Carbon is trying to go in and cause some distraction with Biscuits, but unfortunately goes down and finds themselves in the 2 versus 1. The Rainmaker now being in possession of Krillstreak, they only have a few seconds to keep this into overtime and to get a few more points on the board, but unfortunately Team Biscuits has a really strong presence in mid, and they are not going to let that happen for them. So Team Biscuits taking our first game here in round 4.
Yeah, absolutely impressive game there. Really good use of those specials, especially when they were in the enemy base. I have to note on that push where they got to 20, it was kind of a situation where they kept trading lives for lives. I believe we saw 2 up on both sides when that push was made, and they really made sure that they had those specials up at the right time. They said, hey, we may be people down, but you're people down too, and we're going to use this cover to our advantage. Really, really well played there.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to point out here is Smiley on Team Biscuits using that slosher as a distraction was absolutely huge for Team Biscuits. They took 2 different members of Krillstreak away from the objective and their focus away from the objective completely, which can be really difficult to try to balance, right? If you're trying to gain the advantage and move that Rainmaker as quickly as possible, if you take people away from that movement, then it can be really difficult for you to try to get any headway. But however, Krillstreak also, Toma, they made really good use of their crab tank, and they used it as a body blocking mechanism. There were multiple times there where the Rainmaker was trying to push forward, and that crab tank was the initiator, as it would block different shots coming from the crab tank from Team Biscuits. So, I mean, Krillstreak definitely had some good strategizing going on and some good special coordination going on. I'm curious to see how they're going to bring that into the Barnacle and Dime with us here from Plantlets.
So am I, Saf, and this was one of our new maps this season. Teams have definitely had some time to figure it out, but it's definitely going to be newer than compared to a lot of these other maps that they're playing here today. And this is going to be one of those ones that are really interesting to me to stop, because this can be a really lockout heavy map. If you can get underneath that clam basket, especially with those 2 sloshers, you can cause a lot of damage to the enemy team as they're trying to re-enter, and you really want to do what you can to stop that snowball situation. You need to flush them out with bombs or whatever other tools you have at your disposal to gain control of that area back. It looks like we're going to be dropping one of the sloshers though, running just 1 slosher on each side, but they're still going to remain there, and I'm interested to see this Sorella Tentebrella coming out, Saf.
Yeah, I like that we have, oh my goodness, the kit that I'm seeing, Toma. Quick respawn, comeback, and you have stealth jump as well. This is an aggressive Tentebrella looking to find themselves in the mid area or taking these different alleys and lanes here that each team has at their disposal. Going to be a crucial point to take here, especially because it's a good way to get jump in and to try to initiate a team fight as well. And the crab tank is already going to set up there, taking 1 member of Krillstreak out, looking to take out the Tentebrella here. The Tentebrella trying to contest the crab is unsuccessful in doing so. The crab tank takes them down as well. Team Biscuits looking for this knockout situation that we were talking about here, Toma. They definitely have that power clamp in their possession. That juice is going to be out, so the quick respawn is going to be in their favor here. Just looking to try to see where we can make an entrance, and Arya's going to do that by going up high.
And that's absolutely the right play there. There was a lot of pressure down in that pit area. Going up that ramp where there was no one quite ready, able to shift their defense yet, was a great opening. They're able to get it down to 59. The slosher on the side, but with no clams to be able to add to the basket. This is where that push is going to end. 59, a decent first push, and it's the key to note that it's just low enough that if Krill Streak is able to come back in with 2 power clams, it's still not going to be enough to quite take the lead. They'll need just a little bit extra on top of that. So definitely a comfortable position to be in the first minute 30 seconds here, but they definitely are going to want to extend that if possible.
Yeah, and then you can see Nova on the 10th are looking to have some eyes down that alleyway there with that Tentrella. The stamp is going to be popped here by Krill Streak trying to go in, but is going to be immediately canceled by those tri-strikes coming out in defense for Team Biscuits right now. Team Biscuits is on the defense because of this Tentrella kind of holding this right side, but also the mid control that Krill Streak has right now, Toma, is immense. But with 2 members of Krill Streak now going down, this is Biscuits' time to try to get back into this mid area, and having 2 power clams online for them, this could be really detrimental for Krill Streak if they are not able to respond in time.
Yeah, they've got those Tenta missiles, I believe, was that coming out? No, that's not the Tenta missiles. I am crazy. I thought that was Viper Deco for a second. It was probably a torpedo that I saw landing, creating some pressure there for the enemies. But there looks like they're going to be breaking in again here on this left side ramp. Going to get both power clams in through there. Krill Streak gotta watch that ramp. It seems like Team Biscuits really liking to play around there for their entrances. See that V-Slosh there again, trying to create some pressure. Not going to be able to get anything else onto that lead, but 33, an absolutely wonderful position to be in now on Krill Streak to be able to find their way to break out into mid. They need to get paint control down here, Saf. It's important that they've got that so they have space to, of course, back up if things start going wrong in the push. And they just need to make sure that this north control, it's huge. It's how they're going to find clams. It's going to give them space for movement. But right now, just we see this continued offensive presence from Team Biscuits. They're going to be shredding that Tentrella shield, using this crab tank to try to see if they can find a pig. They don't want to leave the base of Krill Streak, but finally, just that splash up, forced to jump out. You've got to move fast if you're Krill Streak. You've got to paint and get space forward, find clams, get your economy built up.
Yeah, and it looks like that's what we're going to be seeing right here, Toma, especially with that juice being popped as well. Some special stacking definitely going on for the side of Krill Streak right now. The Viper trying to move in, having special online, kind of waiting to use it, is successful in the pick. Going to try to use this Tentrella as a shield. It's going to take the stamp and try to take the pressure off of Nova here, and they're successful in doing so once again. You still have another special online coming from that Tentrella. Once again, Krill Streak going to make the pop here, getting a couple power clams in, plus some change to spare. 48 on the clock. Camo trying to do a little bit of sharking there. Maybe waiting for a teammate to jump in, but just not quite enough time for Krill Streak to get some more clams to keep that push going. But down to the 48 mark, Toma, Krill Streak does not want to be out of this match just yet.
No, and if they can get one more push like that, that will be lead for them. It was really well formulated. They had the clams in their favor. Is everything they needed to do. Just not quite enough at the moment, but still time left in this match. But Team Biscuits showing that unrelenting offense that we've seen them do time and time again. They're already pushed up here, got 2 down onto Krill Streak. They've got a power clam of their own to open basket. They're going to sink another power clam in there, taking it down to 13. Just need to add a few more small clams. They're looking for 2 more. Zap, the splash has 2. They're going to be throwing that in, and that is going to be the KO for Team Biscuits.
Yeah, the pressure from Team Biscuits, Toma, was unrelenting here in this match. I mean, consistently you would find Krill Streak trying to break out into the mid area, but then as soon as Team Biscuits was able to get the man advantage, they immediately pushed in and got those power clams where they needed to go. Especially want to call it Aria in that because, or Aira, because they, I mean, were up on that ramp in the slicks area throwing power clams, and every time that we had Spec Cam kind of go over top of them, they're breaking the basket for Team Biscuits. So Team Biscuits is going to be successful in taking the set here, but we are doing a play all 3, so we are going to be moving on to Splatzone's Museum.
Yeah, and definitely here, you know, whenever you take control of that zone, if you can get members down or a full wipe, you really want to move up into the other team's plat and try to lock them out. Leave kind of one member back behind to watch that left side drop to call for assistance if people are going to be coming through. And what I want to see here, Saf, out of Krill Streak to try to kind of turn this set around and pick up a win, I want to see them play just a little bit faster. We've seen Team Biscuits time and time again. They are pushing up super fast. Even when they didn't have those clams ready, they were already in the base. They knew that they needed to take these really key offensive positions to be able to hold space on the map. And that's going to be really important in splat zones where you don't have to go back for clams. You don't have to wait to go find objective. If you have that zone, it's just going to keep ticking down.
Yeah, absolutely. You need to be aware of where you're picking your fights as well, Toma. This is one of the larger zone maps that we see time and time again in the tournament scene here. So being able to watch your footing as well. If you're going to be taking a fight in mid, or there's someone with longer range than you and you're trying to take a fight and or take distraction off of the zone, make sure that when you're going to be splatted, that you don't want to be splatted inside of the zone, Toma. It's so easy to forget that your death animation can actually be detrimental to your team if you happen to die on the zone. And when you have these quicker players and more aggressive movements here, sometimes that can be really difficult to control just because the environment does what it does.
Absolutely. And, you know, this is such a big zone, right, Sap? So, you know, I think that getting splatted here is huge, too, because it's going to take quite a while to paint that zone. So if you explode on that zone and the enemy colors ink, that's less space that they have to paint to neutralize or to be able to find cap. So really important there. You want it to take as long as possible for the enemy team to be able to neutralize or take that zone from you. So you got to be really careful with your life and how you're playing around in mid, especially around that spinner area.
Yeah, and one crucial thing as well is being able to take your own spinner and making sure that you kind of can maintain that space for yourself, especially if you're going to be a backline and take the higher ground. Good option and idea to have your platform always painted. General good practice when playing Splatoon 3 here. But the Carbon Roller's here to stay, Toma, and dare I say it, we have chumps.
We sure do. You know, we've been seeing Inzap a lot in the meta recently, but not this one. We've been seeing the gray zap that we see on the side of Team Biscuits for that ever so useful tacticooler. But Chump's definitely, you know, a little bit of a niche pick, but it's really good here in zones, especially with how large this zone is. It can definitely apply pressure, get that paint down that you need to be able to get down to take the zone. But early cap is going to go to Team Biscuits, and now they're going to be wasting no time. You see they've got that tacticooler popped, and they're going to be moving across here. Riley trying to go across, but didn't quite expect that Carbon Roller to be there. That Carbon going to be setting up a great defense to protect the plat from being infiltrated, and they're going to be moving in. Already got this zone in a neutral state, but they've got to win these fights to be able to take advantage of it, and that Booyah Bomb definitely going to help them as the cap finally goes there to Krill Streak, stopping Team Biscuits push, and now Team Biscuits and Krill Streak, they're both two down there for a second. Team Biscuits able to capitalize most off that using their paint power from that Inzap to be able to take back the zone.
Yeah, and I loved seeing that pincer kind of go down between Misato there and the Nzap as well. They were able to take the last member of Krill Streak out of that zone area together by collapsing in on them. And Team Biscuits, though, still having really strong control here. The aggression is definitely still on their side here, Toma. The zone has been in their possession for most of the time, and even when it's gone out of possession into neutral territory, I mean, Team Biscuits is quick to follow up. And that's the most important thing about splat zones, right? Is you don't want to let the zone get out of your control. You always want to have an eye on it, the objective, even as you're taking your fights. Looking into here, though, you have Era trying to take a fight of their own, but 3 people on the side of Krill Streak. Unfortunately, that is going to not go super well for them here. Krill Streak now having the zone in their possession, looking for these fights, though, Toma, especially with these tri-strikes coming out here. You don't want to keep your eyes away from that zone. I think with having these chumps to follow up and the Booyah Bomb as well, that's going to be really helpful for Krill Streak to try to prevent Team Biscuits from taking the zone. But unfortunately, Team Biscuits being able to have the better coordination with starting these team fights, able to take the zone out of their possession and making it difficult for Krill Streak to even not have a penalty on that board.
Yeah, of course, always a little bit of a commentator's curse that happens sometimes on these streams, Sap. But right now, Krill Streak set up in a great position here. They're going to be trying to get the members of Team Biscuits down. That Carbon Roller doing a great job applying pressure, but Misato there going to be getting the splat on them and moving forward, trying to take the zone, being stalled out by the Booyah. They're going to be a great opportunity here for Krill Streak to be able to flip this lead, but the Tri-Strike's not going to let that go too far, going to be ending it. They do have to retake the lead here, but they are in a good position. Not too much penalty to work through either, Saf.
Yeah, and following up here with this penalty only having 10 seconds left to go, Toma, for Team Biscuits. Going to be really crucial here for them to try to take the lead. They got to be focusing the zone here, being careful of where these fights are going to be taken, especially with this Booyah Bomb coming out for Krill Streak here. That penalty is gone, though, with only 1 point difference here to try to take this lead. Team Biscuits is going to hold on tightly here, though, and flip this lead, Toma. And they're going to be throwing those strikes up in the air there to try to keep Krill Streak away from this zone. They only have 20 seconds left to go to try to make this, to take this win.
Yeah, now Krill Streak's going to be a little bit desperate to get out. You see that Inzap kind of rushing out. Milk over here by themselves, dropping without the support of that sloshing machine to back them up. And now we got that crowd painting the zone, trying to find the kill on to the dualies. Is going to be able to find it, but it's not going to be enough to cap their staff. And I think at the end there, you get that kind of situation where you see that zone ticking down, and it can be so hard to resist that temptation to just run in. You think, I've got to get the zone, I've got to get it now, not quite waiting for their teammates there. And definitely we saw Team Biscuits take advantage of that and find those picks to clean out the game.
Absolutely, and Team Biscuits, Toma, they took major advantage every time they had a man advantage, even if it was just one person going down on the side of Krill Streak. Team Biscuits was able to respond immediately and kind of collapse in and get their pushes going and coordinate their specials together as soon as that kind of came to fruition for them. And I think a lot of times that's what it can come down to. You just knowing that if it's a 4 versus 3 situation, you know that this weapon and this skill set is going to be taken out of the fight here, and just being careful when you initiate the team fight that your individual fighting skills are going to be up to par as well. And I mean, that was incredibly done by Team Biscuits here through and through, but also Krill Streak putting up an excellent fight as well. They did not make it easy for Team Biscuits to get this far.
Yeah, and you know, while we're waiting on this next match, Saf, I want to take a second just to talk about this great event that is coming up. So Cali is a monthly Splatoon 3 LAN located in Fullerton, California, in collaboration with local hosts. The entire venue is going to be closed off to the public for this event and includes a local artist alley, a salmon run side event, and of course, a fiery main bracket with players such as Chase, 247, Gus, and Pro Chara. It's a $10 fee to play and a $5 prize pool fee that is being paid out in cash to their top 3 teams. And with the more players that they can bring in, Saf, the more priority the venue is going to be giving to the Splatoon community. This QR code on our stream has all of their socials. Huge thanks to our SoCali staff, and we hope to see you all there, Saf.
And for those of you watching the VOD as well, make sure you can go back and pause and scan that QR code for yourself to learn a little bit more about SoCali that's going on this month on July 30th. Looking ahead though, Toma, we have round 5 already on day 1 low ink of July 2023, Toma. Very exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see, and you know, we can take a little bit of a look at these standings, look at some notable teams right now. Looking at Group D, you got Sunrise coming out with a victory there on top. Riptide, Last Wish, a team that's been doing very well. C10 takes a 2-1 over Jelly Squids, of course. C10, a very notable team, and Pop Guns top 10, as well as I believe that Fun Community top 10 that has been going around. Saf, looking over at some other groups, we switch over to Group A, take a look at their standings as well. Right now, Project Blank leading that, followed by Calamity Forge Neo, run by, you know, a good friend of ours, Rice. C-Drive hanging in at 6 there. For Inbound, of course, they're fighting for their great friend there, as well as Cubata 2 Arrows. Both are Cubata 2 Euros, both currently 3-1 in their sets, and they're definitely teams to keep your eye on. Saf, you want to lead us through our other 2 groups?
Yeah, we're looking over at Group B side, Toma. Right now, you have, in this round 4, you have Blowfish going 3-0 over Tuna Sandwich, looking pretty good there. Recovery going 3-0 over the Whip Rays. The Whip Rays being a frequent flyer of low ink around here. Hijinks going 3-0 over Team Ajax. Conductor Cap Incorporated going 3-0 over Deep Sea Dissonance. Seasick going 2-1 over Elegant Ruby. Elegant Ruby able to swipe at least one win there off of Seasick. Sour Milk going 3-0 over Inkspire. A lot of 3-0s happening over in the B sides right now, Toma. Sparkling Sea getting a 3-0 over Soliloquy of the Stars. That sounds really cool. I'm gonna need to get a closer look at that sometime. Legacy getting a 2-1 over Lullaby. Lullaby able to swipe at least one win there. High Tide Society going 3-0 over Inkstrike Krakens. Turning Tides 3-0 over Zero Magnum. Arcadia 3-0 over Splabui. Phosphor getting a 3-0 over Supportive Arise. I mean, wow. A lot of strong contenders over here on the B-side bracket, Toma, and I believe we need to look at Group C as well here. Scrolling on down into the Group C section here. Honda Squidic getting a 3-0 over Double Trouble. Blue Velvet 3-0 over Splatsville Idol Group. Low Ink Tier God over 3-0 over Nova Nightshade. Ika Taco. So Squid Octopus Taco of Wowie. 2-1 over Inkbot Dropouts. 3-0 Galaxy Squids over Amora. And actually we're gonna be looking. Oh wait, no, I pressed on a match that already happened. My biscuit.
Oh goodness! Here in this round two in Group C, I'm seeing a lot of top contenders here. You know, we have Surf and Turf and Galaxy Squids currently 4-0. Honda Squidic, as you said, right now they are 3-1, and they had a very impressive SOS run recently. Overtime, the reigning LSL champions, currently 3-1 here, definitely making a run towards the top 32. Just we have so many stacked teams. You know, Saf, I don't ever want to hear anybody say that, oh, Low Ink is boring now, they've kicked out all the good teams. No, Saf, there is so much action going in here and so many really good teams competing.
Well, absolutely, Toma. And also the fact that somebody wins Low Ink every month. So there's always people that come out on top of these brackets. And I mean, they have to put up a really good fight to get there as well. So, I mean, it's just a silly concept to even think that once these top teams leave that there's nobody else. Because there's always going to be teams at the top, right? But looking ahead into our round 5 match, we are ready to go and peek in here. We're doing Pink Lemonade versus Virtuous Divine.
Oh, this is gonna be a fun matchup. I don't quite recognize the team Pink Lemonade, but I do believe I recognize some of their players. Virtuous Divine, however, is definitely a team I have seen compete time and time again. Looks like they have Peachy from Coastal Squid Surf joining them today to fight on their roster as well. So I'm definitely really excited to see how this one is going to be playing out.
Yeah, me too, Toma. I mean, Virtuous Divine has been in this Low Ink scene for a little while now, and they always put up an excellent fight month to month that they do get to be playing in here. So going against a team like Pink Lemonade here is going to be really, really fun for us to get to watch here today. And I'm looking forward also to see if there's any unique comps that are going to come out, right? That's always the most impressive thing, is when you get to see something kind of obscure get rolled into the meta, and I feel like we got to see that last time with that 10th relic being able to come out. But they're going to be doing that and opening up our round 5 here today on Tower Control Manta Maria.
Absolutely, one of my favorite maps. I don't know about you, but I'm ready to set sail on a little bit of a cruise, Saf, and have a little bit of a fun time relaxing by the seaside and getting to see some of these teams battle it out on Tower Control Manta. Things to look out for here. Of course, the big thing going to be breaking that second checkpoint and pushing through Street, Saf. That can be really, really tough on the offending team because you've got high ground kind of surrounding you no matter where you go on that part of the map. Going to be allowing defenders to be able to easily kind of poke and prod at that tower, especially if they have weapons like, you know, a brush, a roller, a slosher that has kind of that AoE damage that it can send right over the wall walls without having to really reveal itself to the enemy line of fire. But if you can break through that and you can find some picks, if you get moved up there, get onto the opponent's mouse, it can be quite a snowball from there, Saf.
Yeah, and making sure that you can have good footing breaking into that street area is going to be absolutely huge as well, Toma. That second checkpoint being absolutely crucial there because there's so much space to be had in street, but also so little space at the same time. So that's where the key fights are going to be happening if you want to keep that tower pressure moving forward here. But with our loadout that we have, Toma, I mean, we have dualies on both sides, dare I say it, but there's a Sea Jet online there for Pink Lemonade, or excuse me, for Virtuous Divine coming out there, and then Pink Lemonade having the double slosher. So definitely very interesting here, and also having Juice as well.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be going in here right now. Virtuous Divine sending in these dualies to see if they can find an early on pick. Going to be forced to back up a little bit, though. One down on both sides. Heaney sneaking in from behind, finding a pick on to Peachy there as Pink Lemonade gets this tower rolling here to this first checkpoint. Doesn't look like they're going to be quite able to start breaking it here as Virtuous Divine was set up there to defend, but they're not going to waste too much time hopping back on and making it a second attempt here, Saf.
Yeah, I think Heaney with that Inkjet provided so much pressure on the Virtuous Divine that they were kind of staggered and trying to come back out into this midsection here. Tri-Strikes holding down this right side of Virtuous Divine, but Peachy able to kind of paint up with Cam at the same time to try to hold some space for themselves here with that blue ink color that we have on the screen. Looking like Virtuous Divine is going to try to make a push of their own here. They're definitely holding down their own in the midsection here, having two people down on Pink Lemonade. Even though the crab being on tower, it's immediately shredded. Having Pink Lemonade into this soft white situation, this will be very good for Virtuous Divine.
Yeah, they just need to get on this tower and get it rolling. You see members here in the street already to put pressure, but you got to get that tower rolling, Saf. And right now they're looking to do just that. You've got Mocha there on that wiper, got a hammer at the ready to try to get in, and you have these dualies behind it. Do they know Saf going to be coming around for the pincer? Going to be trying to go in on the tri-slosher, gets a pick, goes down to the slosher, but that's going to buy enough time for the first checkpoint and going to buy enough time for the tower to arrive here at the second checkpoint. The tower, or the slosher, moving around, but is spotted out, and it looks like that second checkpoint going to fall, Saf, and now this tower is going to have the opportunity to move through street if they can just get rid of some of Pink Lemonade's defense, which it looks like they're able to pick off too, but once again, this slosher going to fall behind and pick off Peachy for the defense, and that's going to stop their push at 45 for now.
Yeah, Peachy being able to retreat there was absolutely huge. A couple jump-ins going to be coming in for them on Virtuous Divine. Virtuous Divine having an excellent lead right now, Toma, with about 2.5 minutes left to go in the process here. Juice being popped for both sides right now. We're going to see some team fighting happening in the street here. You have the NZAP trying to follow up, but the dualies are going to be successful in taking them down and putting it down some beacons as well, Toma. Could be very crucial here for Virtuous Divine to stay into this map area. Canceling, Gimme going to be canceling the crab before it even gets started. Looking to initiate this fight with the slosher, but the slosher almost being all the way down is successful. There's still more points being taken here by Virtuous Divine, and especially with that follow-up from that stamp there, leading them into the wipeout. This is the snowball that Virtuous Divine was looking for with that crab tank set up on the tower as well. This third checkpoint is going to fall no problem.
This is absolutely huge for them. Now they just have to kind of ride this tower until the very end, which they're going to be able to do in Game 1 in stellar fashion. Gonna be going to Virtuous Divine.
Those beacons were absolutely crucial, Toma. I mean, Virtuous Divine could come back into the map as quick, as lickety-split, as they say, could come back into this map so fast, and especially with having Juice online as well, that made it even easier for them. And I'm curious to see that if Pink Lemonade had beacons of their own, would that have been kind of the same sort of formula that they were going to follow there? But looking ahead into Rainmaker Eeltail Alley, I mean, Pink Lemonade's got to be careful of this snowbally effect that Virtuous Divine put them in.
You absolutely, and you have to keep your eye on that Dapple Dually player. Saf, time and after time again, we saw them kind of sharking underneath those ledges, dropping down some beacons, and then moving forward. We saw them, I think, twice excellently use that Squid Surge to go up the side of that wall and get the flank onto that kind of upper area in the base of Pink Lemonade. They really have been using that mechanic well. Not one that we see everybody use. A lot of people will kind of go for the long path there, but we're skipping and saving a little bit of time. It allowed them to pick off that crab that we saw in great fashion. And if you don't keep an eye on that, especially on Eeltail, where there's a lot of open areas to move through, and if you don't watch that right hand side, they're gonna come up through their bridge and they're gonna flank you, Saf. You've really got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, you gotta be really careful of where that flank is gonna come in, especially with something like Eeltail that is so narrow as well. There's a lot of opportunity to flank, even though it's kind of all going in one direction, right? So you gotta be very mindful of where that aggression is going to be coming from here. And especially if you're gonna opt to take that right, or the left-hand side, excuse me, if you are the aggressor in this situation. That is where a majority of that team fight is going to be taken, where that first checkpoint is. So being mindful of the slicks, watching who's going to come across the slicks, and watching for the backline coming across the slicks here. And also being able to come up from the right side up onto that house area and dropping down into the opposing force, going to be really crucial for taking the fight here and for playing proper defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really excited to see. I'm excited to see the implications with this Tacticooler, too. Tacticooler has always been, even before it was super strong, Saf, right, had its niche usage in Rainmaker because it really gives that extra speed to the person who's carrying that objective. It can be the difference between a winning and a losing push. It looks like they're going to be keeping those Dapple Dualies out for that Tacticooler, and it looks on the other side we're actually going to be switching off that Inkjet Tri, and we're going to be switching to a Tacticooler with that Tri-Slosher Nuvo to try to give them a little bit of extra speed as well.
The light Tetradualies for me, Toma, coming out from Pink Lemonade. I'm squinting looking at the player on the screen that is playing these light Tetradualies right now. The dually fight happening in the corner. A one-to-one trade goes down there. Virtuous Divine is in a 2-down situation here, waiting for their teammates to kind of follow up here. Cam looking for the pick there. Able to assist and not quite take it there, unfortunately. With one member now down for Virtuous Divine. They're looking to try to see if they can make a push here, Toma, but Pink Lemonade, once again, quick to respond back into this map here. Definitely not going to let down that pressure, and especially with that juice online, they're going to be quickly back into this map area, Toma, so they got to be watching for those beacons.
Absolutely. The Rainmaker is going to go down pretty early to Peachy there, making excellent use of that rain and just kind of the ability that C-Jet has to get you to stuck in its ink. C-Jet, I believe, really good pick here on Rainmaker. I think that it's its strongest mode, has a great niche, especially with the Toxic Mix in the rain and being able to stall out the objective and deny space for the Rainmaker to move forward. Rainmaker once again in control of Pink Lemonade, but right now these duels going to be trying to take them down, just misses the shot, so they're going to be staying alive, just 2 up though, and the Crab Tank is out. The Wiper is going to be moving in. The C-Jet sees them as well. All eyes are on this Rainmaker trying to take them down, Saf, and we can see that they just keep getting forced farther and further back. They're all the way back there on that side by the bridge. This is going to give Virtuous Design a good pop. They should take lead here if they just pick it up, but it looks like they're going to wait for just a minute, wait for Peachy instead to be grabbing their backline. A good choice there, and they're going to be able to get this first dunk pretty uncontested, Saf.
Yeah, I like Toma. I like that they didn't rush it there. I like that they were able to get the pop. They were looking, eyes being held forward, looking for Pink Lemonade to respawn back in, but they waited for Peachy to pick up this Rainmaker so that the aggressing forces could have their hands free and have their weapons free to try to assist in the fight. But looking ahead here, Virtuous Divine has got this Rainmaker at the 14, and they keep trying to jump in to respond here and being quick to do so. The Wiper able to follow up Cam to try to get the pick there. All 4 members of Virtuous Divine once again in the spawning area of Pink Lemonade. The Crab Tank trying to be useful there, trying to body block a little bit, getting a little bit of poking damage there, but unfortunately the Rainmaker now goes down at the 11 here. But Pink Lemonade is going to be trying to pick it up and move it out of place for Virtuous Divine. Virtuous Divine, Toma, is the aggression that they are trying to display here is just relentless.
Yeah, do they see this Wiper moving in behind, trying to move up on them? The Wiper gets a pick, is going to be fighting with this Slosher, gets a pick there as well. Saf, this could potentially be huge if they can clear out this space. This may be a dunk waiting to happen. Of course, they've got to move through this uninkable area. It can be a really rough place to get through, but it looks like Peachy going to be trying to chug it through there as fast as they can. It looks like they're going to be moving it up right back to the 11 mark, not able to extend that lead, but Sav, they are burning time off this clock by just keeping it on Pink Lemonade's side of the map.
Yeah, Pink Lemonade is struggling to get this Rainmaker out of the way, Toma. Not really wasting any time to let it reset either, because I don't think they can afford it right now, because these fights are just being taken time and time again by Virtuous Divine. Already, Pink Lemonade is in a 3-down situation, and with having Virtuous Divine with 3 players up and ready to go, I mean, once again, they're going to be pushing with this Crab Tank here, holding down this left side. You have the Rainmaker looking to the right side as well, seeing if there's any pressure to be had, and also waiting for their front line to maybe push up a little bit. But now, 2 members down on Virtuous Divine. You have Pink Lemonade trying to close the gap here and take the Rainmaker out, and they get close enough to do it. Slosher there is going to go ahead and take this Rainmaker down on this left side here. Pink Lemonade, Toma, they just have to play strong defense and look for the man advantage and take full control of this Rainmaker as quick as they can with 42 seconds left.
Absolutely, Saf, and right now they're going to be backing up just a little bit. Peachy trying to get to a good defensive position. This Wiper there to back them up, going to find a pick. They're going to be moving around trying to find the pick onto the Rainmaker. Doesn't quite find it though. They're going to be moving on to this bridge area, seeing if they can make a contestation at the first checkpoint, but the Dualies come in to clean that up. The Dualies find a second pack, just the Slosher left up. They've got the Tacticooler out, Saf, to keep themselves up. They're going to pick the Slosher. They're going to try to pick this jump. Wow. They're going to find the pick as well. These Dapples are going absolutely insane to clear this out. Peachy gonna back it up and clear out this game for Virtuous Divine, Saf.
Yeah, Peachy there has had enough. They've had enough of this game, and they said, we're going to pick this up, and I'm going to just wait back here. Virtuous Divine, an excellent gameplay from them coming out here, going into the 2-0. They are going to take the set, but we are playing all 3. So, Pink Lemonade still has a shot at swiping a game here on Clamblitz Scorch Gorge. But Toma, wow, the mid-hold and control that Virtuous Divine had in that last game, I mean, that was unrelenting. They didn't lose mid, I don't think, one time.
Yeah, they literally did not, Saf. Like, they had control that entire game, and I really love to see this out of a team, right? Especially in lowing, because I feel like a lot of low-level teams sometimes have the tendency, they get a really good push in, they'll go to like 11, like here on a map that's kind of hard to KO in, but then they'll make the mistake of just kind of being like, let's just play defense the rest of the game, and then they turtle up, and it can often backfire on them because the picks will just come in at the right time, and it just turns into a recipe for disaster. But Virtuous Divine, no, they were not gonna have that. They were like, no, we're not gonna turtle up, we're not gonna back up and just play defense the entire game. We're gonna keep this pushed, and that's such a good philosophy to have, Saf, because right, if you're pushing, the enemy can't, and that's as simple as it is with Rainmaker. You've got to get the objective to the other side of the map. So if you always have it on the enemy's side, then that's just that much further they're gonna have to take it back to try to get the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only that, but with Virtuous Divine being able to hold the Rainmaker on the side of Pink Lemonade the entire time, Pink Lemonade was forced to turtle up and play defense the entire time. Like, they didn't really have any other option for the entirety of that 5-minute match. I mean, it just all came down to, we're going to hold them here as long as we can, and especially keep on trying to force those fights and force the wipeout, and then as Peachy did in those last few seconds, they're going to pick it up, and then they're going to retreat back and just game over, sayonara stinkies. But moving into Clamblitz Scorch Gorge, Toma, I mean, this is going to have to be a little bit more handled a little bit differently here, because with Clamblitz being the most robust of the 4 modes that we have, you can kind of make anything work here. Less of a formula, if you will.
Yeah, you definitely can. The big thing, you kind of want to look out for is setting up your offense and defense right on this map, because the big thing is that clam basket, right? If you can get somebody underneath that, or if you can get, like, say, a crab tank on the enemy snipe and just point it right over there where the basket is, it's going to be really hard for the defending team to be able to get out. And you know, one of the weapons that does that really, really well, I'm looking at right now, are the sloshers that we're seeing on the side of Pink Lemonade. Those can be really good for clearing out that space and kind of just relieving some of the pressure in front of the basket and allowing your team to be able to score. But of course, you got the Crab Tank on Virtuous Divine too that can sit up on that snipe. Really great options for both teams. But right now, Virtuous Divine taking a commanding presence right here, finding a power clam, making it immediately underneath the basket of Pink Lemonade, and we're seeing the score already drop down into the 50s within just the first minute. They've got tons of clams online and coming in. Saf, they show no sign of backing up here right now.
Absolutely not. The pressure is unrelenting, and we're going to just keep on going until the clam basket closes. That's exactly what Virtuous Divine is doing here. Down to the 26 mark, Toma, is where that push is going to end for them. But not a push to be scoffed at. I mean, Pink Lemonade has got to hold their defenses together here, and they got to find themselves in the proper setting to try to take a more aggressive approach to lock Virtuous Divine out. And it looks like maybe that's what they're going to try to do here, but there's still members of Virtuous Divine in their basket area. They're trying to push forward, and there's still members in their basket area threatening to try to pop it open again. And I mean, Virtuous Divine here is going to have a strong foothold because they want Pink Lemonade to burn these specials before they can get any sort of push going.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that's what they were able to successfully do. No specials online for Pink Lemonade now, who has all of the pressure on them to make a push, while you already have Virtuous Divine with another power clam at the ready. They just need to find the space to be able to get in there. Going to be backing out from that Reef Slider. The first two down now. Heaney trying to make an opening here with this Inkjet, finding one pick before landing down, and it looks like it just was barely not enough for Pink Lemonade to be able to get in. Now you got this Crab Tank set up on the defense for Virtuous Divine. They see somebody over there, going to be forcing the jump out with the Crab Tank and the Burst Bomb so that they don't get picked there. Now Pink Lemonade kind of really backed up here on this ramp again, but the Slosher here able to get an excellent 2 pick to try to create a opening. They've got 3 now, Sap. They're going to be moving in here, getting this power clam to break the basket, but they have to get a lot of clams to follow up on this. They've just got 1 left in the hands of that Inzap, but it looks like right now Virtuous Divine is doing a great job of flushing out just those Tetras left up.
Yeah, Virtuous Divine was quick to get them out of there, Toma. I mean, as soon as the Slosher, I think, went down, the Enzap kind of knew that they needed to get out of there. And unfortunately, not enough people there to really pop juice for to get another type of push or play your cards right and get your defense up. So unfortunately, Pink Lemonade was going to have to take the back seat back up there. But with a member of Virtuous Divine now having to jump out, the Crab is online for them. They do have a power clam, but Pink Lemonade has really strong clam economy right now in comparison to Virtuous Divine here. They want to try to take this fight to their basket area and have those clams at the ready there so that when they get this basket pop, they can get the clams in. But with the Crab coming out in defense, taking out the Slosher too, trying to contest it here, that might end Pink Lemonade's little bout they were trying to get started.
Yeah, taking out that Inkjet before it could get popped with killing that Tri-Slosher, absolutely huge for them. But this Slosher, this V-Slosher, making great play after great play. I believe that was another triple, looking for the quad. They're able to find it, and now they're going to be able to break in here. They need to get that last clam to somebody. They are able to do it to open the basket, but they don't have a lot of follow-up here, Saf. The Tri-Slosher are going to come in with 3 clams, but they still need to find a little bit more to be able to take this game. And Saf, just like that, there is a DC on the side of Pink Lemonade, but we are way too far into this game, so we are going to be playing this one out, seeing where it goes. And right now, you know, with having 1 permanently down, a permanent man disadvantage on the side of Pink Lemonade, definitely going to be a tall order. A little bit unfortunate there, you know, Splatoon 3 moment, as some people say.
Yeah, and especially Cam's here being all ready to go when this Inkjet lands. They're just waiting for them to come back down here. They were keen on when that was going to be happening. But you have a still strong defense from Pink Lemonade here coming out. I mean, that's all they can really do at this moment, Toma. All they can do is play defense because they just don't have a foothold on the map right now. And especially if one member goes down, then that puts you at even more of a man disadvantage that they are already in. So Virtuous Divine right now looking to end this game pretty quickly.
Yeah, they definitely are. Looks like they're gonna just need one more clam to find that knockout, and they're gonna be playing it up until the end of the game. Not able to get the knockout, but all the way down to 2. A little bit of an unfortunate moment, especially because I believe that was the V-Slosh who disconnected, who really seemed to be Pink Lemonade's real big tool to be able to get in and start those pushes for them.
Agreed, absolutely. Multiple times when we saw Slosher breaking through into the fight of Pink Lemonade, they would consistently get at least 2 to 3 to 4 members down. I mean, we got to see one triple, and then later on we saw the quad be taken, and Pink Lemonade was able to utilize that and get a basket pop of their own, but just not quite enough clams to keep the score up to par with what Virtuous Divine was cooking. So, congratulations, Virtuous Divine, a 3-0 set.
Yeah, huge win there, Saf. Good job to them, and I believe I'm gonna go take a little look at where that puts them right now. Let's do a Control F, Virtuous Divine. That's actually gonna put them up 4-1 currently in this bracket, so that's gonna be really good for their chances of making day 2.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good for them. Talking about brackets, Toma, maybe we can take a peek at over on Group A side of bracket at the moment here. Once again, you have Saturday Inc. At the top here getting a bye. You have Critical Error, wow, getting a 3-0 over Jelly Bros. Honorbound 3-0 over Freshalopods. Project Blank getting a 3-0 over Calamity Forge. Neo, once again, a lot of 3-0s to be had here, and some scores that actually have not been quite finished yet, Toma. So we're still looking for scores from Frail Savages and Borealis. Borealis looking for at least one win going on there. Deliverance versus Remix. 1-1 fight happening there, looking for one more win to see who's going to be moving forward. Hellish, Akuma, and Vile Violets also in a 1-1 showdown here, looking for that final win. Kombucha versus Secret Sauce. The Secret Sauce, Toma. The Secret Sauce is winning. What could it be, though?
I have no clue, Saf. Looking at this too, Cubata 2 Euros taking a 2-0 right now over Mammoth. Meatball gonna secure their set win for that. And Isopods pick it up versus Black Ink, currently tied 1-1-2. Looking for that final win, and taking a quick look over at Group B. We're getting mostly finished up over there. Quite a bit of 3-0s over here as well. Notably, the Whip Rays getting a 3-0 over Seasick. Going to be putting them in a absolutely wonderful spot moving forward. Royal Succulents actually going to take a 2-1 over Grizz Coworkers Union. 2 teams that we've seen battling it out and definitely are strong contenders for a good day to finish. Arcadia takes a 3-0 over High Tide Society. Sparkling Sea falling 1-2 to Shake. And just a lot of other really good matchups right now. 8K Ping still leading that group currently 4-0, being really a really strong contender, and I believe that still their match is going at the moment, but they're 2-0 over Distinct, so they're going to be sitting 5-0 after this set.
Yeah. Moving over to Group C, you have 7 Deadly Squids, 2-1 over Fatal Error. You have Double Trouble, 3-0 over Ika Taco. Nova Nightshade, 3-0 over Gloom Rose. You have LED and Polaris still in the 1-versus-1 showdown, looking for that final win to try to get the set win match under their belts there. Amora over Half Milch, 2-1. You have Hanu over Double Trouble, 2-1. Pirates 2-1 over Vesper. Honda Squidic 2-1 over Moonrise. Hydra getting that nice 3-0 over Inked Under, followed up by Kit Kat getting a nice 3-0 over New Wave, who we got to see earlier in the stream today. Los Inklings 3-0 over Ammo Knights. Overtime getting a 3-0 over Luminous. Kelpies. Oh, yeah. That's fun. It's like puppy and kelp in the same thing. Blue Velvet getting a 3-0 Determination. Miku Plushies getting a 2-1 over Splatsville Idol Group. Camp Flyfish 3-0 over Luckiest Ducks. Fatal Parliament 2-1 over Forgotten Ink, Blot Dropouts, and Cephalopod Coalition still looking to try to determine their win here. Sharkbait getting 0-3, Remnants taking the 3-0 over them. Papio taking 3-0 over Cheeto Chompers. 2-1 for Low Ink Tear God against Yellow Devils. Galaxy Squids 2-1 over Sullivan MV. Surf and Turf being a really high contending crew that comes into Low Ink very often. You have a 3-0 over Resurgence, and Pawn Duck Crew 3-0 over Dangerous Deco.
You know, Surf and Turf and Galaxy Squids both 5-0 currently, so I'm sure we're going to be seeing them battle it out to next round to see who's going to be taking the top spot in that group. Two favorites definitely within this group to be making a great time showing over in day 2, overtime in Honda Squidic as well, sitting 4-1 as well. Two big standouts that we've seen in the community. Taking a look over at Group D, though, right now, looking at these scores, we have 3-0 Silly Seaside Sharks over Last Ditch Effort, a 2-1 in ASC Sheru versus Revelation. Hot Cocoa falls 0-3 to Fallen Ravens. Last Wish, it looks like they went up against Riptide, who may have had a little bit of a drop there. Baja Blast versus Chippy Chirps are going to be battling it out for that final win at the moment, alongside Tea Time and Abyss Inc. Going to be the last two people we're waiting on to finish up there. Mylag Paradise, another big team, seed 1 in that group, going to be falling actually to Get Yo Money Up, so huge upset there. C10 and Jelly Squids, two big teams to keep your eyes on, both taking a win. Jelly Squids 3 over Krill Streak, who we just saw earlier, and C10 taking a 2-1 over Team Biscuits, who we also saw on stream earlier as well. Big battles going out here right now. Looking at that group standing right now, we have Get Yo Money Up and ASC Shero, two teams that, you know, I hadn't really heard about before today, sitting on top with the 5-0s, going to be battling it out next round to see who takes the 6-0 sweep. You've got teams like Revelation, Ink Black, C10 and Mylag Paradise, who are all sitting in 4-1, as well as Zestfest. I believe that was our LSL 30 winners sitting up there 4-1 alongside Last Wish as well. Some really, really strong teams here, Saf.
Get your money up. That's so good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, a lot of good contenders coming out here in Low Ink today. Toma, correct me if I'm wrong, this was the largest sign-up ever that we've had here on Low Ink, is that correct?
I do believe so. I believe that is what Mr. Popgun told us on the podcast. We're currently sitting after, you know, the whole splash tag purge and everything going on, that we had 212 teams registered. Don't know out of that which number of teams actually checked in and made it into round 1 and how many dropped from there, of course. But having over 200 for a Low Ink, absolutely crazy. It's so insane to see how much this tourney is growing. It's really great to see all these teams just getting their feet wet, wanting to get into comp at the low level. It's so much fun to see.
Yeah, it's definitely exciting for sure, and we got to see a lot of good action coming out of this really big Low Ink sign up here today on the IPL Splatoon cast as well. And we're looking ahead into our round 6, Toma. We have one more round to go that we're still kind of getting put together here, but one more round in the group stage and that's it. And then day 2, for those folks that don't know, what are we looking at for day 2? How does day 2 work out?
Yeah, day 2, I believe what we should be seeing is, I'm not sure what number of teams from each group will be advancing, but it'll be the top X amount from each group moving on to your top 32 bracket, who will be playing kind of a little bit of a round robin style against each other to be seeing who will make it to your alpha and beta brackets there. And then the next top how many ever from each group will be moving on to your gamma, your delta, and your epsilon brackets, all of which will, I believe those are double elim, correct me if I think so, and then the top alpha beta will be single elim, since they've already gone through the top 32 process to kind of narrow them down. There was kind of your opportunity to drop some games, but very exciting stuff to see. So of course tomorrow you'll see that top 32 group stage streamed, followed by the alpha bracket immediately after.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting, Toma. And once again, 212 teams registered today, folks. That's over 1,000 people participating in Low Ink today. That's over 1,000 people, because you need at least 4 people per team to actually be eligible to try to play, among other things. So that's a lot of people playing here today and hanging out with us today and giving us some really fun matchups to get to watch. So good day to be a Splatoon player, good day to be watching some competitive Splatoon, Toma.
Oh, absolutely. I could not have asked for some better matches going on here today, Saf. It's so fun to see, and we're going to be getting in here to round 6 really shortly. It looks like our, we've got the brackets being generated. We're going to be looking for whatever match we're going to be streaming, and it looks like I see a highlighted here one little bit in Group B. It looks like we may be seeing a Joke Subbers versus Arcadia, if I'm not mistaken, coming right up here. These are some two really, really strong teams we've seen make runs throughout this tournament. They're doing very well in their groups. Let me see if I can pull their results. Currently, Joke Subbers sitting 4-1 right now, as well as Arcadia. So this could potentially make the difference between who's going to be moving on to that top 32 bracket and who is going to be moving on to Gamma, Delta, or Epsilon.
Ooh. That's exciting, Toma, and especially because you want to be that team that's moving into top 32. You want to be that team that's into that part and to try to make your way into the top here. So that's really exciting, especially because Arcadia's been around this block a few times, right? Like Arcadia is a name, household name.
Yeah, it looks like we're actually going to be switching up to Legacy versus Shake going on. Same group, Group B. Taking a quick look at their standings, right? Still Shake 4-1 and Legacy, if I can go ahead and find the 4-1 as well. So still similar situation going on, just two different teams.
I mean, the same thing I said about Arcadia can be said for Legacy as well. Legacy has frequently come onto the Low Ink airplane trip with us monthly. So Legacy also has a leg up into this competition as well, just like how Arcadia is also looking to get into that top 32 bracket. So Legacy is feeling the heat and feeling the same way coming into this, Toma.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a big matchup for them. It looks like I don't recognize too much of the players on the side of Shake personally, but they've obviously done well to fight their way here today. Legacy, a team that I've seen time and time again in FTIU, actually getting FTIU and LSL banned this month, so definitely wanting to make a name for themselves going into Low Ink to see if they can make a contention at the Low Ink champion title.
Yeah, and if they're able to make it up that far, that's going to be really huge for them, Toma, especially a lot of momentum coming into this by getting banned this month from 2 different tournaments. They are looking for that third and final ban to try to move themselves forward out of the low-level scene. Legacy is definitely on the up and up from here, and with Shake coming in to be their contenders here today, also holding on to that 4-1 record, I mean, it's not going to be easy for them.
No, it's definitely not going to be. I'm sure this is going to be a match up to remember, Saf, as they're going to be battling this out on our final set of the day. Saf, we're going to be looking out starting at Splat Zones. Makomart, tell me a little bit about what you think the strategy to finding success on this map is going to be.
It's definitely crucial to be looking out for who is going to try to take the stacks when you initially enter the map, Toma. You really want, especially, I'm looking at you ballpoint players, looking at you ballpoint heavy players, taking that advantage of that stack area is going to be absolutely crucial for you, and giving you the maximum sight advantage that you could want when you're trying to contest these zones. And this is also a very favorable map for our non-shooter players out there. If you play Bucket, if you play Roller, even, dare I say it, if you play Blaster sometimes, arguably as well. It's very open and there's a lot of ledges and things to be taken. And so if you're looking for the lockout situation here, you're going to be wanting to ninja and position underneath those ledges to look for those splats.
Absolutely, and this is such a fun map to see, right? And their games can be so close here too. We saw a very fun matchup here just last night together, Saf, actually, over on the Frostbite League semifinals. And though we saw, I think, 3 times defenses of lead coming down to a single point. This is that kind of zone that can flip in an instant if you lose a player and the right plays are made. So just so much action that could potentially be happening here.
And being careful to watch where those flanks are going to come in is also going to be absolutely crucial, especially near that melon side, or if you're going to try to take the fights kind of around breakfast area. Being able to watch for where those flanks are going to come in are also going to be key, because if you're the backline here and you're going to opt to push forward onto those stacks, you need to be aware of where your team is going to be at, because if no one's watching behind you, that can be very detrimental.
Yeah, definitely could be detrimental, Saf. You know, especially there's so much room to be moving over through here. You know, you can come all the way through breakfast, up melons, create kind of a little bit of a surprise play that they're not expecting to see. And you've got two sides of the map to be looking for that on. There's so much that can go on, so much turf to keep track of, because while you have to keep that little zone in the middle painted, you've got to look where ink is trading elsewhere, so you know where people are going to be coming in from. Of course, we see two buckets coming out that are going to be really, really good here on this map, as well as the standard ballpoint, that wonderful backline that we see time and time again coming out from Legacy. On the side of Shake, we see them coming out with just a lot of shooting, painting power from all those shooters, and just huge range and sight line from that E-leader.
Yeah, and the E-leader's in a prime position right now, Toma, for trying to maintain some space. They are going to try to opt to control Legacy's stack here, which I think with the E-leader, that's going to be more important for them to do, because with the ballpoint, you can forcibly move your way up towards stack and have a little bit more of a presence and aggression. But E-leader, you really want to maximize that range here. Legacy, though, unfortunately going to not have any points on the board until just now. They were able to take that fight successfully there, allowing Kess to get pushed up once again with this ballpoint here. But with the E-leader being keen onto where that is going to be positioning, they are able to take that ballpoint out pretty quickly. Now with finding Legacy in a 2-down situation, this is going to be crucial for Shake to try to hold on to this zone and to take it back and not let lead fall.
No, and Shake is going to be able to do it just by a single point. You know, Saf, what did I say about the single point defenses? But of course, super early on to this match, I'm sure we may see lead change a few more times. Definitely going to be at least seeing it extended here, especially as that bucket falls, trying to make its way into the zone on the side of Legacy. 2 down on both sides now. You've got the Inkjet on the side of Legacy coming out, trying to find a pick. Not successful in doing so, but they are, well, I say that, I was going to say they are going to cap the zone, and they weren't able to do it, then they did it, and then Shake responds immediately by capping it again, and now Legacy caps it once more. Just back and forth, and that's what I was saying. This zone can flip in just an instant, Saf.
Yeah, these leader picks coming out from Shake are absolutely crucial. Looking in for the third pick on the Crab Tank, but the Crab Tank was going to be successful in that fight there. You have this fight being taken over here by Legacy, but unfortunately with a 2 down, or the 2 scenario taking down the 1, you have Angel kind of playing a little bit more aggressively here, trying to come in for support, looking into the fight to try to take with these buckets. Unfortunately, they go down. Not before that they're able to pop the juice, though. That juice for Legacy is really deep into the side of Shake here. Shake is going to take full advantage of that and still keeping this game at a 1-point difference, Toma, 53-52. But Shake is looking to get rid of this penalty as quick as they possibly can. And with taking down the ballpoint and getting one more member down, forcing them to the 3-down scenario, it's going to be crucial for them to just hold this zone and push forward.
Yeah, and you see that they're trying to send members forward to get into the base of Legacy to try to stop them from coming out. But being spotted out and being the only one going forward, they are kind of forced to back up here. They are going to pop a bubble onto zone, which is going to help it survive this onslaught just a little bit longer as these tri-strikes and the Inkjet recall. But Shake is able to find 2 down off this situation. This is going to be huge for them to hold the zone here. They just need to barely keep it. If they can just recap, just barely stop, they need to win this fight here. But it looks like right now it's going in Legacy's favor, who is able to stop Shake's push at 1 to stay alive in this game.
I loved seeing that, Toma. Immediately, as soon as Legacy had the man advantage, you had 3 different members pushing forward on the stack area. Kess is in a key position to launch this Inkjet here, to have eyes on everybody that's coming out from the Shake side of things. and holding this crab tank back as well. Going down, unfortunately, into the rafters of Mako Mart here, but taking that crab tank out was going to be absolutely huge for the aggression coming out from Shake, trying to get back out into this map here. Legacy now having no penalty points onto the board here, trying to hold on as tightly as they can, but Shake is going to be successful in breaking out, because all they have to do, Toma, is just hold onto the zone and keep taking it out of Legacy's possession to try to maintain their lead, because at this point, Legacy has all of the ground to make up.
Absolutely, and that Junior did such a great job too. I don't know if you caught that, but they had 2 jumps on the zone from Legacy. That Junior popped their bubble, just waited for those jumps to come in, were able to pick them off, were able to take the zone back for Shake. An absolutely patient, great play there, setting up a good defense. About 45 seconds left in this game. They are holding the zone. They're going to be trying to eat through that penalty, but Legacy going to be making a move on here, not wanting Shake to get through it, are able to cap it once again. Now they have that 40 penalty, pretty hefty to work through to be able to start scoring once again. Shakes just needs to find a way to get in here, and this is probably going to be the last attempt that Legacy has here at this zone. So if they get wiped here, it could be bad news, but right now they're holding on pretty well. They're almost through this penalty now, but both sides being 2 down, you've got to be careful. You've got to play this right. Be careful, because now you're scoring, but all it takes is one move, and they're gonna be making that move now with those tri-strikes moving in, trying to find the paint. They've just got to be able to cap this zone. The player here is going to try to do it here on the stack, but not successful in doing so. This timer is ticking down, Saf, and we may see the comeback happen. Legacy is going to take this game.
Yeah, and Shake was taking trades. They were not afraid to take trades there, but I just don't think it was the trades that they should have been taking, because Legacy took full advantage of those trades being taken. It was like they had the advantage for trades, but then Legacy said, no, that's not going to work here with us. That's not the right option, because Legacy is matching Shake's aggression, even with Shake having such a strong E-leader force in their back pocket. Legacy being able to come back in this one, that is hype. That's all I can say. That's absolutely hype for Legacy. There's a lot of momentum going into Tower Control Sturgeon, Toma.
Yeah, that is absolutely huge for them. Definitely putting the momentum in their sails going into this next match, because they need to be able to take it here. You know, kind of seeing a little bit of the ending of this game, and this is really just where it came together. They were just, you know, not enough pressure there from Shake to be able to take that. Legacy did a really good job playing that patiently, waiting it out until, you know, it's the absolute last minute. You know, you were in overtime. There was no more time to be able to mess up. So brilliant plays there, Saf. And now going into game 2 on Sturgeon Shipyard TC, what's the difference that needs to happen here? We saw the kind of game that Shake plays. They're really capable of holding space well. They were able to do it for the majority of that game and just kind of lost control of what was happening in overtime. So what is the key here? What are some key places? What are some weapons that you think could really lend well to either team?
I mean, part of me wants to say that Shake dropping that E-leader and replacing something that could be more aggressive could be helpful here, but the E-leader was getting so many good picks, Toma. I mean, time and time again, they were constantly picking out members of Legacy that were coming into the map, no problem. So I almost don't want to say change the E-leader, but in terms of Legacy, this double bucket comp that they're running is absolutely a force to be reckoned with. And I think Shake, too, especially having primarily shooters that we were seeing in that first game, they got to be able to be brave enough to take fights and to try to match the aggression that Legacy is bringing here. And with the verticality that Sturgeon Shipyard offers us, that's definitely going to be a little bit more in their favor having those buckets online. So if Shake is able to kind of see how they can try to match their aggression and also make sure that these buckets, if they are to come back, don't take those high points. You got to be cautious of that, where those high points are going to be taken, because if the buckets get up there, and there they are, that's going to be very crucial for Shake to try to keep them out. And there's actually no comp change here.
Yeah, we're going to see pretty much all the same, you know, and if it's not broke, why fix it, Saf? We saw a great game out of both of these teams. I don't really think there was anything necessarily wrong comp-wise, you know, it was just the matter of letting the game kind of slip away at the end, which they definitely aren't going to want to do here. This is a map that snowballs so easily, Saf. Once you get past that kind of third checkpoint, it can be hard to stop that tower. Right now, Legacy starting with the early 2 down, trying to find one more. This E-Leader looking over on that left-hand side, seeing if they can get the pick as they're getting the tri-strikes out, but not quite able to do so. Now trading 2 down on Shake. Shake had moved it a little bit, but not able to find that first checkpoint. Gonna have to make a reattempt at it, but not after Legacy's first attempt, as they're over here now trying to clear this first checkpoint themselves. You got the Slosher there moving forward, and the tri-strikes out for the defense. They're gonna have to wait those out, but they have no problem in doing so. Gonna be popping that crab tank now to be able to clear the first checkpoint and get that tower rolling on towards the second.
Yeah, and Legacy is finding themselves in a good position to be doing that, Toma, especially having that ballpoint launched off of the tower. But with nobody being able to be there to defend the ballpoint from landing, unfortunately, that's going to be the end for them. 33, though, getting it down to that third checkpoint, Toma. Legacy has a really awesome lead to hold on to here, and especially with all of the ground having to be made up by Shake. If Legacy is able to take the high points here with those buckets and to watch eyes for where that E-Leader is going to try to position here, I mean, Shake is the ones that are going to have to try to come to that.
Absolutely, and this is what we're going to see them try to do here, but they're going to have to ride out this offense first. Those Tri-Slosh coming into the bubbler and finding the pick. That's going to be great for Legacy's defense. Now this ballpoint set up in a wonderful position to be able to put a lot of pressure on mid too, but they've definitely got to watch out for this E-Leader who's got just a lot of sight line from mid. They try to snipe the ballpoint, just barely miss. Do take somebody out though, take out that tactical user, and now in the Inkjet, they're going to be able to find one more pick as well, and that's going to help them hold mid, but not before that E-Leader picks them out on their recall, picks a member on the tower. Going to be looking at that. Slosher picks them too, even though the Slosher gets a trade. A huge triple there for the leader is going to allow Shake to be able to get back in here, but the splash goes down, and now they've got those specials coming out, that tri-strike, but they've got to win these fights here in mid, Saf. That's going to be huge for them to be able to move forward.
Yeah, Shake's doing a good job of it right now, especially getting into that 2-down scenario. They're starting to move together now, Toma. They know that to take these fights against Legacy, they need to try to move as a team because their one-on-one fights are not going in their favor, so they need to be cautious of this, but they don't know. They don't see they don't see Zora coming around from the backside there, taking down Sky in the process. So Shake's push is going to be stopping at that second checkpoint, just initially at that second checkpoint to try to get through there. It's so close to falling, but Shake now being forced out of the mid area by Legacy. Legacy just having such a strong presence in this map right now. They are not letting any ground be taken away by Shake.
Absolutely. They've got to watch out for that Tri-Slosher, Saf. I believe that's the second or the third time now that they've come behind them and put a stop at checkpoint 1. You've got to be watching your back at that first checkpoint. You need to be able to break it to be able to take the lead, because Legacy didn't break the second checkpoint. So if you can break first and you can get a move on, it's your opportunity. And right now, here's where we may see their opportunity. You've got to get this push going. You've got the Tri-Strikes online that you can use to space out the members of Legacy, and it looks like here is going to be the lead change for Shake. They're gonna write it out, see what they can do. That just Angel left on that splash. They're not gonna be able to break the second checkpoint either. But now, right now, Sam, huge pick right there from the splash. This is going to be setting them up in a good spot. 40 seconds now. All the pressure is on Legacy to be able to come back in here and make a second go at that last checkpoint.
Yeah, Angel's patience there was absolutely key, Toma. That being able to just hold that great position there and wait for the members of Legacy to push forward and to go back out in the map was absolutely crucial, because although they went down, they were able to take one more down in the process here. Legacy having 15 seconds to try to keep this tower on the move, but it looks like we're gonna have two people try to push up to take this E-Leader out before we get that push started, because that's gonna be major for them. The E-Leader now being taken down. The range that Shake has is now down, but that crab being online for them is gonna also be really crucial here to try to take it. The Tri-Strikes coming out to use as defensive mechanism, but the response Tri-Strikes are there as well, and Ellie is able to climb on that tower unscathed. Shake is going to be taking us to a 1-1. We are looking for the set point, Toma.
Absolutely huge stuff, and like we said, this is going to be the match that comes down to probably who's going to be making top 32 and who's going to be going to one of the lower brackets. So, you know, this going to a game 3, a lot of pressure on both teams. And now we're going to be moving into Rainmaker Museum, and Saf, this is one of those very fast modes where you've got to get the Rainmaker, you've got to push, you've got to move it fast. There's not time to really kind of sit around and stall. You know, tower control is a lot more of those slower modes. Once you get control of that tower, you're just kind of waiting for it to tick down. You can move in front of the objective and should be moving in front of the objective to be able to protect it, but you can't force the tower to go any faster than it's gonna go. But here on Rainmaker, it's all up to you, Saf, what you're gonna be doing with that. So let's be punching our tickets to the museum, punch our tickets for this game 3, and see which one of these teams is gonna punch their ticket to the top 32.
Yeah, if Shake is holding on to this E-Leader, Toma, I'm going to eat my words here. If Shake is going to hold on to this E-Leader, Legacy has got another thing coming. They really got to be watching out for this range here, but Legacy is also doing an excellent job of applying a lot of pressure to the E-Leader as well. Flowing has not really had a chance to get super comfortable with positioning on places here, especially on Sturgeon. I mean, they were on quick feet the entirety of the game, and they got some really key picks, I will give them that, but they definitely could not stay in position for very long before Legacy would come in and try to displace them. So with Museum especially being able to keep full control of your plat is going to be absolutely huge here, because if you lose control of that platform, that is where things can get really bad for you and where those checkpoints will fall immediately. So having that E-Leader positioned in good spots to keep a good sight line onto where the members of Legacy are going to try to come in from is going to be huge for Shake.
Yeah, and on the side of Legacy, just the exact opposite. Moving that E-Leader is going to be your key to victory, because Saf, you and I both know so well, Museum, a huge E-Leader map. You can basically look from your plat all the way across, and you can get picks on the opponent's plat just with your main weapon alone. So it's going to be huge that they're moving that player, getting the backline out of position so that they can kind of get forward and do exactly what they need to do to get that Rainmaker going. Once again, we're not seeing really much changes. I do think the only change we're seeing is V-Slush for Sloshing Machine, but still kind of sticking with that double bucket comp on the side of Legacy. They are going to get the early pop. Not a map where pop matters as much at the beginning, since it really only hits the paint on the top of that spinner, but we're going to be seeing these teams fight it out in mid to see who can get an early advantage. Right now, Shake losing their T-Tech in the early fight. We're going to see Legacy pick up the Rainmaker pretty early, and huge is that E-Leader is going to go down. The Tri-Slosher came across to find the pick. That's going to give Legacy that first checkpoint.
Yeah, Legacy having that first checkpoint is going to be key here, especially but with Ellie being able to break through from that aggression coming from Legacy. They're able to get one pick, looking for the second one, causing a lot of distraction and mayhem here, Toma, for Legacy, because Legacy was getting real close to pushing that Rainmaker some more, but they aren't going to be able to do so, unfortunately, especially with Ellie being able to be alive there. Absolutely huge for Shake to try to stop that Rainmaker from going any further forward. Now, you have Flowing able to move forward onto the spinner here, but not for very long, as Legacy's going to pop that crab, and 3 members are going to go down in the process here. Legacy, once again, having a lot of mid-control here, looking to try to push up to this left side here.
Absolutely, and that splash jumping out on the side of Shake, going to be saving up their crab tank to use now on the defense, but not quite able to find the picks. They are going to go 2 down, not able to extend, or maybe extending that lead by a few points. Did not notice. They are a little bit past that podium there. But now it's going to be up to Shake to be able to get this moving again. They really need to find this mid-control. The Junior's going to get a great pick there to be able to help start that going, but they need to really get forward. The Rainmaker is going to reset here, going to give them their opportunity to pop it. They do have specials online. They have a bubble. They have the Tri-Strikes. They're going to be using the bubble right now. The Rainmaker going to jump across and find the break relatively uncontested. Just them up. The full wipe is going to happen. This is Legacy's opportunity to move it forward, rush really fast. You already see the Tri-Slosher in a very aggressive position in the plat of Shake. ready to take them on. They're going to be trying to push this, but they don't see the flank come in from behind, able to clear that up. Shake going to get an excellent pick here. Going to be looking at this jump in, seeing if they can find it. Not quite able to do so, but they do go down, I believe, to that Rainmaker pop. But Legacy still has control of this Rainmaker. They need to stop it. Legacy is going to be able to score more off of that. You've got to pay attention to where all the members are. Just that one person up able to score for them.
Yeah, and it comes down to that sometimes, right? If you can be absolutely sneaky and just kind of stay alive and just know the timing of when moving out would be the best call, it could be very detrimental, and that's exactly what Legacy was able to do there. They just threw a couple more points on the board, but Shake looking to do the same thing here. They are 2 points away from trying to contest this lead right now, flowing in a really good spot here, especially with that Wavebreaker coming out to provide some clearing momentum for Shake right now. Ellie trying to pick up that Rainmaker, taking it one more point further, but Legacy is going to be the successor in that popping battle and is going to take that Rainmaker down. Not off the platform. Oh, there they go. They did find a way to reset it. That is going to be absolutely huge for Legacy to keep that Rainmaker out. But with that E-Leader being pushed up for the side of Shake, this could be really hard for them to try to get back out into this map, especially if the E-Leader is going to apply a lot of pressure here. But with this flank coming in, this is where Legacy is going to be able to keep themselves in this game. Toma, they are not going to let go of this lead.
But they are! Shake is gonna find a way in there! They're gonna just kind of pop it! They were hiding there in that ink waiting, like you said, Sop, for just the right moment. So unfortunate they're feeling that slip away from you. Now all this pressure is on Legacy. Just a minute left in this game. And Sop, it's a hard to get up to 8. This is not a map that you often see KOs on because, you know, just like Scorch Gorge, you go so far up into the enemy spawn to be able to dunk, and look at the way Shake is playing. They're got great ideas of where their enemies are. They keep a lot of good map control, and all they really need to do here is defend. They need to get their specials online, but this Tri-Slosher in a great position, but going down. That's going to be huge on the side of Shake. 2 down on both sides. They just need to find the stop. Shake going to have their members jump back to try to keep themselves alive, try to keep what specials they have up, so that way they don't go down. And it's huge to stay alive and keep your specials up here, especially with 2 down now on Legacy. You just need to find that pressure. 10 seconds left remaining, Sap. It's all going to come down to how this final play goes. The E-Leader trying to look out for the pick. It could be their game-winning answer, but they've got to watch out for that Tri-Slosher moving on them. They just need to find these picks. They're going to be advancing their lead here, Sap. You've got to find a pick right now, but Legacy going to be able to take the lead in overtime, shutting down Shake's offense. They are going to be taking this set 2-1.
Taking that E-Leader out was absolutely huge. They took the E-Leader out. That pressure from there was gone. They climbed up the spinner, jumped across to that ramp, and with the Tri-Slosher leading the way to try to take the brunt of the force coming back from Shake, Legacy takes it. Holy smokes, Toma.
Ooh, that was a intense game, Saf, and both of the times we saw Legacy win these games in this set were in overtime against super huge pushes. That push to 1 in Makomar zones, and then the push to 8 here on Rainmaker Museum. Incredible takebacks, patience from them, just waiting for the right moment to charge forward and knowing exactly where they needed to be and getting the right picks. Just wow, Saf. Having the opportunity to watch that here, we're gonna watch in the replay actually, seeing that overhead view, the junior was able to get the Rainmaker onto that first podium there. That got Shake's kind of step into the game with that gameplay there. 3 being down on the side of Legacy here. This is where Legacy was gonna try to take this Rainmaker as far as they could, but with Shake being able to, on the respawn there, they were able to stop that push in its tracks, but you still have Shake providing so much aggression here, Toma. They were fighting to maintain this lead, getting it all the way to the 8 mark, but with Legacy being able to have the leg up in those last few seconds there, I mean, it was absolutely huge. You got to see a comeback for single digits twice. Yeah, it is just great play. There you saw another great play from Legacy. The splash, just waiting for the right moment to throw that burst bomb and get those picks. And I believe here is where we actually see that Rainmaker sneak away on the side of Shake. Stuck in that crab tank, so not able to move too fast. And the Tri-Slosher taking them down there. Stuff, just fun gameplay
Final
all around.
push.
Here we see this is the Tri-Slosher getting that key pick on the E-leader for the defense. And then all eyes are on that Slosher. They kind of
Yeah.
forget about the Rainmaker.
Yeah.
They're like, we gotta get rid of that Slosher. The Rainmaker just is able to inch in there.
Oh my gosh, incredible. Toma with an exciting last game that we got to see between Legacy and Shake here. That's going to do it for us today here on Low Ink, July 2023. Where can the good people find you on the internet?
Yeah, Saf, they can find me at Crest of Gautier on Twitter and here at Twitch on twitch.tv/ttoma_. Where can they find you, Saf?
You can find me on Twitter at Safirea, 2 P's, 2 A's on twitter.com. Or if you are heading over to Sandusky, Ohio in September, you can find me at Riptide 2023 as well. And folks, don't forget, July 30th, we do have the SoCali LAN happening as well. It is a monthly Splatoon 3 LAN located in Fullerton, California, in collaboration with local hosts. The entire venue is closed off to the public for this event, okay? Includes local artist Alley's Salmon Run side event, and of course our Fiery Main bracket with players such as Chase, 247 Gus, and Prochara will be there as well. It's a $10 fee to play and a $5 prize pool fee that is paid out in cash to the top 3 teams. With the more players we can bring in, the more priority the venue will give to Splatoon community. So the more people that show up to this event, you guys, the more priority that the Splatoon community will be given for future events. So that's going to be absolutely major for us. And for those of you that want to go to a LAN and have never been before and are in the SoCal area, this could be the chance for you. The QR code has all of our socials. So thank you so much from the SoCali staff. Make sure to take a picture with your phone of that QR code for more information. But
Absolutely.
Toma, for today, that's going to do it for us. That's it.
It definitely is. I had such a fun time here with you, Saf. As always, huge congrats to all of the teams here today and all of our teams that are going to be advancing on to day 2, fighting it out for that Low Ink champion title, the honor of getting banned from this tournament. Saf, I know that I'm going to be tuning in for day 2 for sure, and I hope that everybody here on our lovely stream, that we will see you all there as well.